baseball.
Not the sunniest day for the fans to wrap up the homestand, but a good day to get a win. The Nats have struggled against the Marlins. It is time to grab one. Washington only one win on this homestand so far. Season series, it's all Marlins. 12-5, outscoring the Nats, out-homering them. Washington runs a little more, but the starter's ERA, really no contest, and hopefully Jordan Zimmerman does something about that today. Bob Carpenter, Ray Knight, welcome to the ballpark. It's off to Atlanta and Philadelphia, Ray. Lots of tough ball clubs coming up. A day when you need to win one.
Oh, you certainly do, and Zimmerman is throwing the ball excellent. His only problem is being able to be pitch count economical, and he's throwing the ball exceptionally well, as he has always done. A guy that's probably going to end up being the number 1 or 2 starter at the beginning of next season. The great slider, the fastball, anywhere from 91 to 94, 95 miles an hour, and he gets the ball and just throws it, buddy, and he throws it to good spots. He's been able to take this team on his back in the game that he's pitched extremely well, and he's got shutout type ability. He's got no-hit type stuff almost every time he goes out there.
14 innings, 6 earned runs, 11 hits, and 15 strikeouts over those 3 starts since his return. So Jordan Zimmerman suffering a little lack of command last time, but if he pitches to contact, the guys will do the job behind him because the defense has been good. It might be Niger out there in right center, Espinosa and Pudge on a very good relay, and then, of course, the kid up the middle, Espinosa, with Zimmerman and Desmond out there. The Nats looking good defensively these days. Your own great moment starts at Hager.com. We've had some rain in the area this morning, mostly sprinkles, nothing too bad. And the ball game will get underway as scheduled here at 1:35. The Nats and the Marlins in Game 3 of the weekend series. Florida 8th in the league in hitting, 6th in runs, 7th in home runs. And Hanley Ramirez, they moved him to the number 3 spot a season or 2 ago. They knew he would end up there because of his power to go along with his speed. And Emilio Bonifacio has been a major thorn in the side of the Nats in this series. Jordan Zimmerman will make his third career start against Florida. In the previous two, a very good ERA of 1.50. No decisions to show for it. Maybe today's the day.
The PNC Bank Scattering Report is brought to you by PNC for their Cheever and us all. Economic breakdown. 37 pitches in the first inning is what got Jordan his last outing. 4 walks. He lasted only 4 innings due to the 79 pitches. The whiff. 9.6 strikeouts per 9 innings pitched. Thus far this season, over his career, over 9 strikeouts per 9 innings. And Chase the Trace, I'm trying to say since I made that up. 51 of 64 of all the games that he started as a professional, he's given up 3 runs or less. That's 80%. That's pretty good. And expect that today. I expect to see this kid on his game.
0-2 quickly to Emilio Bonifacio, who slaps one foul. Here's our train weather with rain in the area. Very cloudy today, but a very comfortable temperature of 68 degrees. Visit train.com to find a dealer near you. It's hard to stop a train. Bonifacio hitting .306. He's on a 7-game hitting streak, 14 for his last 30. And in this series, 4 hits and 10 at-bats, couple of RBIs, and he has scored 2 runs while swiping 2 bases. Little contact guy who moves it around the field and can run very fast. Outside 2-2. 18-year veteran Wally Bell is the home plate umpire. Crew chief John Hirschbeck at first. James Hoy second base, Laz Diaz at third. And a bouncer left side. Forward comes Desmond. The strong throw on target for the first out of the game. Nationals defensively. 111 errors after making 2 yesterday. Only the Cubs have made more. Dunn, Zimmerman at the corners. Kennedy gets a start today. Adam, very few at-bats in the last week or so because of Espinosa's playing time. Morgan flanked by Bernardina and Morse. Adam Kennedy's been solid second half of the season, hitting around .270 and playing dependable defense. Here's Logan Morrison, who keeps getting 1 hit per day to keep that hitting streak of his alive. Drove in a run yesterday. He sits safely his last 10 games, 15 for 39. In this series, just 2 for 10. And Zimmerman really jammed him. You know the hitter's jam when he looks down at his bat near that trademark after a foul ball like that.
He's checking for a hairline crack. That's what he's checking for.
Good-looking rookie hitting .311. They've got a good bumper crop of young players here. There's a little chopper to Adam Dunn. He'll grab it and go to the bag. 2 outs. Jordan Zimmerman, we told you about those 2 starts against the Marlins, and they're only hitting $171 against him. Chris Volstad has a high ERA, but whenever he pitches against the Nats, he gets lots of run support. And the Nats, this is an interesting stat. I never would have thought 269 leading off an inning would be that high, but it's 14 points lower than the best team, the Milwaukee Brewers, 283 leading off. The Nats ahead of teams like the Reds, the Mets, the Diamondbacks. Here's Hanley Ramirez with 2 outs. And by the way, we're joined in our booth today. It is Kids Run the Show Day here. Nicholas Counts, 9 years of age from Fairfax, is our guest broadcaster today, and he goes to Eagle View Elementary. I want to give a shout out to all of his schoolmates. And Hanley Ramirez is the hitter with 2 outs and the base is empty. He's 3 for 8 with a walk in the series. We've got kids doing the PA. They were on the field before the game. Debbie Taylor got some help with her interview. It's always a fun day here at the ballpark. Now, if the kids can keep the rain away, it'll be a perfect day. Maybe they can get the Nats some runs, too. We'll see. One ball and 2 strikes. He buzzes him with a fastball.
You have to think later in the game that'll be a strike.
I
not in the first inning.
I got to think it's a strike right now. I don't think this is low. That's right in that corner.
Boy, every time a Nat pitcher seems to miss a called third strike.
That's a perfect pitch there.
Something bad happens. Hopefully not here. Breaking ball way outside. Wasn't it Chad Tracy who was struck out yesterday?
Yeah, on the same kind of pitch.
Marquis didn't get the call. Then the Marlins scored 2 runs with 2 outs. And a 3-2 pitch with Dan Uggla on deck.
And those things add up. They add up to 2, 3, 4 pitches, sometimes to base hits. But you put a ball in that spot there, that is a perfect pitch. And with 2 strikes, the hitter, no matter what team he's on, should get rung up. That's just a perfect pitch. You put it there. And that's why you do all those side sessions to work on your control for it.
Some other ball games are underway already. The Phillies already have a run at New York after losing yesterday. The Braves beat St. Louis in extra innings, so there's a tie atop the East between Atlanta and Philadelphia. The Nationals' next 2 destinations on the road trip. Roy Oswalt going for the Phils today. 3-2 again to Ramirez with an inside target. And he'll take the 2-out walk. Should have been struck out about 3 pitches ago. And so it'll be Dan Uggla with a 2-out chance here in the first inning. Edwin Rodriguez has the Marlins right now 3 games over 500. Really not any kind of playoff scenario. They're 9 back of the first place teams, and they do show up in the wild card race, but 9 games out with 3 weeks to go. Pretty much on the impossible side. Ramirez has a pretty good lead. He's stolen 31 bases.
A little late.
Hitters get way too much leeway when a pitcher is trying to freeze a runner. Ray, part of the game as a pitcher is freezing the runner and playing that little cat and mouse game, and I think the umpires give time to hitters way too often.
I agree with you.
I'm sure that I got a guy out there coming off Tommy John surgery. I don't want to see him aborting his delivery in the first inning on a wet day.
Well, that scares you to death. And the hitter, you know, if you haven't made up your mind that you're going to step out by the time the guy comes to a set, then, in my opinion, it is too bad. Now, sometimes you have to use a little common sense because a gnat can fly into your eye or something like that, but that was obvious. Uggla just stepping off because he was not comfortable with the long hold that Zimmerman was putting on Hanley. I mean, he's out of the inning with 14 pitches, and now he's up to 19.
Gave up 2 runs in a long first inning against the Mets on Monday here. He had some control issues, walked 3 consecutive batters in that inning. Most of them left-handed. Ike Davis, Lucas Duda, Josh Tolley, as Pudge Rodriguez kept sitting off the outside part of the plate, and that's where he was missing.
Yeah, it was. I was just thinking that, partner. He setting up away and missing about 3 or 4 inches off the plate.
And he gets Ramirez back into the bag again.
Well, the more he throws over there, the more Hanley will be able to read his move, unless he's just giving him a show-me move as opposed to his best move. That's enough lead for Hanley to steal with his right foot right at the cut.
He's holding on a high fastball, 2-1. Jordy Zimmerman's first inning on Monday, 37 pitches. Some of the Nat starters have gotten themselves in a pickle early with high pitch counts. Jim Riggleman said this morning he'd like to see Jordan somewhere in the 90 to 95 range, at least 6 innings. And he said if the pitch count's looking good, they wouldn't hesitate to send him out for another. Ramirez running, and Pudge on a short throw. Kennedy tried to swipe the tag, and Hanley Ramirez steals his 32nd base. Little longer on the throw, they would have had him because the ball was beating Hanley Ramirez.
Well, it's very difficult to stop a man like Hanley anyway. And if you're going to throw a breaking ball, you might as well forget about it. And this ball's in the dirt. Rodriguez comes up there, and Hanley would have been out had he held on to that ball. But it's funny, Adams' eyes are not anywhere near that baseball. He's just looking out there where that baseball last hit.
That's a strike as Uggla tosses his bat away.
Pudge makes a pretty good effort pulling this pitch back in, as it was outside 6 inches.
Most catchers frame the ball. He was sweeping the ball.
That was real. He was.
To be honest with you, I'd rather have the previous one on Hanley Ramirez.
We'd be in the dugout hitting.
3-2 pitch now. Not even on the bag is Kennedy, just to keep the runner honest.
Well, he's not going anywhere with 2 outs.
You just hate to see a call missed on a fastball early in the game that's going to cost your guys a dozen pitches. Uggla has struck out 135 times. And that's to the shortstop. Desmond knocks it down. Has to hold it. And now the inning's going to continue even longer on Desmond's 32nd error of the year.
Well, I still think Desi has to be more active with his feet. He just catches this ball, and you see he's planting his feet there, flat-footed. Tough play as it is hit right at him, and the ball gets up into his breadbasket, not able to adjust his glove there, but not a play that a shortstop should miss.
Yeah, pretty routine. And I think a lot of young players, Ray, who have the great arms, they're used to laying back and then gunning the ball to first. I think Hanley Ramirez did some of that and has done some in Florida. He has 16 errors this year.
Well, he didn't throw it, Bob, and that's a plus. He didn't throw it and just uncork one over there as he would have early in the year. But, still, he's playing the guy in the hole. It's a long hop. You got a lot of options as a shortstop on that ball. You can actually turn sideways and backhand that ball if you want to do that. But he chose to square up on it. And I think because his feet were so firmly planted, that makes your hands harder. Your feet have to be very light on the balls of your feet in order to make your hands soft. And sometimes I think he gets his feet almost planted like in concrete.
On a 2-1 pitch, a little flare that Kennedy will grab. Nats out of the inning with no damage. But a lot of extra pitches for Jordan. Volstad against the Nats coming up. And now they've done that against him before with the high ERA, but he keeps beating Washington. Michael Morse 2 for 7 in this series. And against the Marlins, career .333 batting average. Michael's at .392 over the last 2 weeks. Batting average just under .300. So here's Volstad, 9-9 on the year. And he has 4 wins against the Nats. After beating them twice in May, he lost 4 in a row. So 2 of his last 4 wins have come against Washington. And it's amazing that almost half of his season total have been against the Nats. Ian Desmond in this series 0 for 7, hit by a pitch. And he's leading off today because Nyjer Morgan is still down in the order at 7, and Espinosa is out today. And the count's 1-1 to Desmond, hitting .282. Volstad career 24 and 26. He's a former first rounder 5 years ago. Big guy at 6'8", 232, just 23 years of age.
Talking about a high earned run average, 11 times this year, Volstad has given up 4 runs or more in his starts. And that's several times with just 5 or 6 innings pitched.
Desmond with an on-base percentage of .320. We don't usually look at that for him, but since he's in the leadoff spot today, the check swing saws him off, 1 out.
PNC Bank Scouting Report is brought to you by PNC for the achiever in us all. 2010, perfect, 4th start, 4-0, 4.50 in 26 innings pitched, 4.5. Lifetime earned run average against the Nationals, 4.50, 4.50 at home, 4.50 on the road. It doesn't matter. He's just going to give up 4.5 runs. Long, tall, but no stranger. 8 career starts, and he is 6'8", 232 pounds. In those 8 career starts, 5-1.
Adam Kennedy won at bat in this series. With Danny Espinosa getting off to such a hot start last week, Adam has been watching a lot lately. Generous call on a fastball, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Yeah, he calls that pitch a strike, which is moving outside the strike zone, and then the ball that Jordan threw to Hanley was right there. Now, I've not won, and I've said this starting 4 years ago, I don't try to bring any attention to umpires, but we're in the first inning, and I'm already seeing a little inconsistency back there, and I hope I don't have to say anything else about it.
Well, Mike Rivera, the veteran catcher, sitting off the plate, and Volstad throws it out there. And that strike 2 call, very suspect. Kennedy works at full with Zimmerman next. And Adam can be tough to strike out. This year he has struck out 33 times in 322 at-bats.
Yeah, by far our best contact hitter when it comes to putting the ball in play with 2 strikes.
90% of the time he does. Hanley Ramirez had his feet planted, waiting for that one. 2 outs. Ramirez up the middle with Dan Ugla. Emilio Bonifacio across from Chad Tracy. Catcher Mike Rivera out there. And it's Cameron Maben in center with Logan Morrison and Mike Stanton on either side of him. Ryan Zimmerman, 3 for 7 with a walk in this series. Just out of the top 10, batting .300. The 10th batter in the league coming in today, Hanley Ramirez at .301. And then Zimmerman 8th in on-base percentage.
To show you something that I think is a trend, in his 4 starts this year against the Nationals, Volstad is averaging 13 pitches per inning against the Nationals. Against the rest of the league, 18 pitches per inning. So, as with that first at bat with Desmond, he swung at 3 balls in off the plate, the running fastball. And oftentimes I hear Riggleman talk about how patient this ball club is and how good a pitching pitches they get to hit, and I've not really agreed with that. Josh Willingham, when he was in there, yeah, Adam gets a lot of walks, but there's a lot of times we swing at bad balls over the course of the season, and thus we end up having a tremendous amount of strikeouts, and we have terrible on-base percentage because nobody really walks in the ball club. Adam and Zim are the only two guys that basically walk in our ball club.
Zimmerman gashes one to center, but right there's Maben coming into the ball game. The Nats on base percentage .322. Their opponents .330. At 27 for Zimmerman. Let's have a look at our Luna double. You can get your second room of flooring free. 877-241-LUNA. The Luna calendar. The difference between day and night for the Nats. Winning percentage much better during the day. Batting average about the same in the runs per game. For some reason, the pitchers much better in the daytime than they are at night. And you would think that sunlight and shadows have something to do with that. Our photography experts would call this a flat lighting day with no sun whatsoever at the ballpark, so the conditions are kind of like a ball game at dusk. Just no sunshine at all for the outfielders to worry about. Good seeing conditions for the hitters. Mike Stanton leads off in the second. And now that pitch is a strike. The rookie's turning it on. 13 of his 18 homers, 26 of his 46 RBI since the break. And that's just about exactly 2 months. So you look at Stanton, who has played in 80 ball games. If you come close to doubling that, he would be on a pace for 36 homers and over 90 RBIs. Wally Bell has a very different strike zone so far.
Well, that's now, up
pitches,
and away.
Pitches off the plate inside or strikes. And that ball is going to leave here in a hurry. If you have to throw the ball up and in to get a strike, that's going to be a tough thing to do against this Florida team. And for Stanton, his 19th of the year.
Well, he went with a breaking ball, Bob, but it's a hanger. Dead, hanger, flat. Just not doing anything but spinning on the inside part of the plate, up around waist high, and you know, that kid's not going to leave very many of those in the ballpark. But just look at this hanging breaking ball. I mean, that ball stays there all day long, and you know, just saying, hit me, hit me, hit me, and he did.
Here's Maben. Marlins hit their 140th home run. They're 7th in the league. Nationals have now given up 126, which is actually fewer than they've hit. So on the home run ledger, the Nats are on the positive side, but far from it in runs. The Nationals have given up 67 runs more than they've scored this year. The Marlins are a plus 134. And quickly 3-0 on Maben, who's hitting .237. Jim had a meeting with his pitchers this morning before the ball game. Fastball up. We'll have Debbie check in with more on that. Not really anything dramatic, Debbie, but Jim Riggleman wanted to make sure his pitchers were getting the same encouragement and credit the position players were.
That's right, Bob. And he told them, you know what, I appreciate the hard work that you've been doing. You guys are competing out there. I know that some of you have some sore arms. It's that time of the year. But he really wanted to give them a positive message, you know, that he understands how hard they're working. He also said, look, with a lot of infielders changing positions, moving around, new guys coming into the lineup, I need you to communicate out there as well.
Yeah, they were all gathered in his office as we came in this morning. Kind of an unusual place for a pitcher's meeting. But the entire staff was there, starters and relievers. And Steve McCaddy was there as well. And I think Jim wanted to make sure that everybody saw the encouraging things he had to say, both the coach and the guys out there between the lines. This is catcher Mike Rivera. You might remember him. The Nats saw him in Milwaukee most recently. He was out of the big leagues this year until just recently when the Marlins were suddenly short on catchers. He was with Milwaukee 06 to 09. The Tigers in San Diego before that. He's from Puerto Rico. And he was one of the players who appeared in the movie For Love of the Game with Tom Selleck. Pardon me, that was Kevin Costner. Pardon me. I had my movie ball players confused. But the Marlins, when the Nats played them 2 weeks ago, had 4 catchers. And then they lost, of course, 1 to injury. Brett Hayes on the Niger Morgan collision. Chris Hatcher was sent back to their AA ball club in Jacksonville. They're in the playoffs trying to win a championship. And they needed a catcher. So they signed Rivera.
He's missing with his good breaking ball. The one that's the sharp breaking ball, he's missing. The one that is not as sharp, the backup breaking ball, he's throwing that around the plate, on the inside part of the plate. So his release point is a little off, and it looks like he's nibbling.
Ball 3 to the number 8 hitter who does not have a hit in the big leagues this year. So this is the 8th hitter, Ray, and on 5 of them, he's gone to 3 ball counts.
Well, it looks like he's forcing the ball a little bit. The other outings, it was very smooth. His delivery was very intact. I think compact is the word that I'm looking for.
And they're running. That'll keep them out of the double play with a catcher leaving the batter's box. So Maben down to second base with 1 out. And Chris Volstad, the pitcher, coming out. Good call by Edwin Rodriguez. Things a little quiet as the Nats have scored 5 runs in their last 38 innings. Nationals Park on a Sunday afternoon, September 12th. Marlins lead 1-0 on the Mike Stanton leadoff homer this inning. Volstad, 4 hits, 2 RBIs this year. Pudge took a look at third, but Zimmerman was charging for the bunt. Nowhere near the bag. Kind of an odd call to be bunting with a runner at second base.
That makes no sense to me. I mean, that is just, it makes no sense. And I don't want to sit up here and second guess anybody, but you got a runner at second base. Let the guy swing the bat. He's liable to hit a blooper down there.
You think he missed the call or missed a sign?
I think so. Or they're just not allowing their pitchers to swing the bat at all. And after all, the majority of the time they are going to have to bunt to enable them to advance their runners and enhance their chances to win. But
I've never seen a hitter so warmly received in the dugout after a bunt with a guy on second base and 1 out. Now, with nobody out, sure.
Absolutely.
Odd call, but the Marlins seem to like it.
Well, if you have a guy that's a knuckleball pitcher, split finger pitcher, or someone like that has a lot of bounce to the ball and very erratic, there's not a problem getting a runner to third base. But, you know, I've seen that a couple of times this year, and it makes absolutely no sense to me.
Desmond with a good backhand. He's got to hurry. Adam Dunn can't pick it, and the Marlins score. That's another throw by Desmond that's short. It looks like they're going to give a hit. An error has to be assessed. And it's got to be on the throw because that was a long hop to Adam Dunn. So Adam made 2 errors yesterday. Well, they don't have to assess an error because the hitter did not advance beyond first. But, you know, Ray, these are plays that have to be made.
They do. There is no doubt. You know, you've got to be honest about it. I mean, this is a big league shortstop. You're expected to make every play. That play, once he catches the ball, it becomes routine because of the fact now he's just got to make an accurate throw. And accurate throws should be routine once you set up on the backside or on your right side, and he was able to do that. Once again, though, he kind of gets dead in the water when he backhands that ball. Instead of just making a real quick push off that back leg to give him something extra, he uses all arm and just throws from that back leg, not ever taking any type of crow hop or any movement and taking up ground to first, Bob. And it's just a habit, and I think it would be labeled a concentration error, really. But he's done it all year long, and it's something that he really needs to work on, in my opinion.
And only because the ball stayed in play and Bonifacio didn't get to second base. No error given. Pitch out. Bonifacio had taken a couple of steps. When he saw the pitch out, he stopped. And the count goes 2-0. Logan Morrison, the hitter. And it just seems like the Nats are in the field constantly. And the home offensive innings are very quick. It's almost like a time of possession disparity in football. And it seems like the other team has the ball all the time. 2-1. Now Jordan is about to throw his 50th pitch with 2 outs in the second. Phillies have added a run at New York. Run in the first, run in the third for the Phils. The Braves have the Sunday night game behind Tim Hudson. That's the good news for the Nats. They won't see Hudson in that series, but they will see Derek Lowe tomorrow. Bonifacio running, and that throw off to the side. Safe is Bonifacio. I mean, he's just running wild against his former teammates in this series. He has 3 RBIs. And now his 3rd stolen base.
Well, another breaking ball. He picks a breaking ball to run on, gets a good jump, looks in as if it's a hit and run, but there's no hit and run there.
And if Pudge makes an on-target throw, he's out. Ball was there, but well off to the side. No chance for Desmond. A lot of little things are not going right here.
It just looks sloppy, doesn't it? It looks a little sloppy, but
the walk to Maybin hitting .237 hurt after the home run.
This kid's tough to strike out.
You like him, don't you? Because you saw the 3 games in Florida, now 3 here.
Well, I like him because he makes contact in crucial situations. Let me check and see how many times this kid struck out. I doubt a lot. .311 he's hitting. He's 29 base on balls and 34 strikeouts. So
pretty good ratio.
That's very good. On base percentage way up there at .419. So it's the type of guy you want in the top of your order that makes contact, tough to strike out, goes the opposite way, takes his base on balls.
He's making contact about 80% of the time, and that's pretty good for a rookie.
And he's continually fouling the ball off. A lot of these Marlin hitters do that. Gabby Sanchez had a tremendous about it against Steven Strasburg down in Miami, about a 12-pitch at bat. And we talked about that for about a week, and now this kid up there and battling pitch after pitch. And eventually, you'll get a good ball to hit. I mean, he's making good pitches. Jordan making good pitches. Just at the top of the strike zone, pitches that hitters know they have to protect, and Morrison continues to, despite pitch after pitch off.
Man, Jordan Zimmerman's going to be somewhere between 25 and 30 pitches per inning for his first 2 today. 3-2. That's not even close. Steve McCaddy to pay a visit, as I mentioned, on to Atlanta. Night games tomorrow and Tuesday, a day game on Wednesday. Off day Thursday, then on to Philadelphia for 3. The pitching pairings for the Atlanta series: Yuneski Maya and Derek Lowe tomorrow night. Levon and Jair Jurgens on Tuesday. And the day game Wednesday is John Lennon, Mike Minor. It is a day game Wednesday. So the Nats will miss Tim Hudson. That's the good news. And guess who you've just walked the number 2 hitter to face? Here's Hanley Ramirez, who the Nats had struck out, but Wally Bell missed it. He walked. Ugla reached on an error. Tracy popped up, and it turned into a very long first inning. And again, Ray, you made the point. Unable to get strikes with the breaking ball so far.
Yeah, I don't think he's thrown but one breaking ball strike, and that was a backup breaking ball on the inside. But he's trying to go away with the breaking ball, and he's missing out there a good 4 or 5 inches. And without that, he's a one-pitch pitcher. And, you know, like you say, he throws 94, 95.
Oh, my. That's an errant throw off Kennedy's glove. They're going to send Bonifacio. He's going to score from second base on a pickoff throw. Jordan Zimmerman having a hard time getting hitters, and now worrying about a runner, throws a run home.
Exactly, Bob. Too much throwing to bases. I mean, you've got your second baseman standing right there. I mean, he's right there. And then there's no break. And I don't know, Adam did not break to the bag. He just stood right there. And so Jordan whirls and sees him not moving, throws it where he thought he was. But watch Adam. Adam's just standing there, and he's not really breaking to the bag. He's standing there, and he just throws the ball away, and it's not a good effort either way. He's standing right there, and he makes one little step, and he just, if that's me, that's Adam. That's on Adam. I mean, there's no doubt. He makes 1/2 a step, and the ball's thrown to him off of his glove, and he doesn't make a real hard effort back to the ball.
Now Hanley Ramirez jacks one to right. Michael Morse cruising for it. It's a 3-run inning for the Marlins. The Nats are not looking good. Time to generate some offense.
a play at second base that Jordan Zimmerman turns an ill-advised throw, but look at Adam Kennedy. He makes a slight move, and then he just reaches back on the ball and doesn't make the type of effort that I'm looking for. I don't know if he didn't see this ball out of the hand, but that ball is very catchable, and I believe that Jordan didn't throw the ball to the bag because he didn't see Adam make the quick move, but there was really no play there. The runner on second base was not off the bag enough to pick off. I mean, you're already down a couple runs. There's no reason to make that pickoff play there. First of all, your guy is holding him too close to the bag for him to get a big enough lead, and you just don't make those unnecessary throws just to throw the ball around, because that's what happens.
And Bonifacio, of course, running fast, able to be sent home easily. Here's Dunn, 0-2 to Adam, and that's off the plate. Adams 1 for 8 with 3 strikeouts in this series. The Nats have 2 runs in this series against the Marlins in 19 innings. And over the long haul, since Monday's explosion, 5 runs in 38 innings. And Ray, I think what's happening here that we can see, the ball club's not scoring, and it's putting pressure on other parts of the game. I think when you're scoring runs and guys are rounding the bases and the dugout's alive, I think some of those other things come easier than they do right now. But this is when you really have to bear down on pitching and defense.
Well, there's nothing more true than that. What you just said.
And that's a bad mistake by Volstad. Even though it is Adam Dunn, he's up by 3 runs. Look at the last 4 games after the previous 11. About 1/6 of the runs per game. Home runs almost non-existent. One of them by a rookie, his first in the big leagues, Ramos.
That runner in scoring position, that couldn't be much worse than that. But
it's one of the great mysteries of this game. Where does the offense go from one day to another? Now here's Bernardina. His batting average now down under 260. Roger in this series 1 for 8.
Bob, it's getting there's a lot of factors, and this team has played extremely hard, and they've gone out every day and busted their tails, no doubt. That's an exclamation point. But you're getting to a lot of factors right now, late in the season. Not really anything to fight for your team as far as pennant-wise. Guys sore, tired. You start looking to go home. And on Sundays, following a night game, very difficult, or even a day game, very difficult to keep getting up, coming to the park, and getting yourself to that level of really high intensity. It's tough to do, but you've got to do it. You've got to find some way to do
that.
Yeah, and I see a little bit of almost the feeling of sluggishness out there today. A couple balls, Desmond, the ball right there with Kennedy. And I've had the feeling. I mean, I was on mostly pennant-winning ball clubs, but there have been times, especially in the minor leagues, in that last month of September when you toiled as the strikeout pitch 1 and 2 just runs way off the plate, not even close, and umpire having a bad day so far.
That's a brutal strike zone early in this game by Wally Bell. 1 on, 1 out. Bernardino rung up on a pitch, probably 2 baseballs outside. And here's Michael Morris, and evidently on that side of the plate, inside to righties and outside to lefties, you better be swinging. That's an 18-year veteran. Michael is 2 for 7 in the series. And again, Volstad, every time he pitches against the Nats, he gets runs. 7, 4, 9, and 16. The numbers of runs the Marlins have scored this year in his 4 starts against the Nats. Morris will break his bat and muscle that into right field. That's a great AB by the big, strong guy. And here's Niger Morgan, who had an interesting evening with Mr. Volstad in Florida.
Well, we all remember this, as he was drilled then after running over their catcher, and then after stealing a couple bases, Volstead goes behind him for the second time in the game. Gabby hair lips him right there with a high tackle, and then everybody empties, and all the suspensions were, or have been at least, assessed.
Every time I see that, I wonder how Niger Morgan survived that blow by Gabby Sanchez. The third man into the fight, and he just got hammered. And Sanchez sits out the third day of his suspension today. Niger in the series, 2 for 6, a walk and a run. He's been on base as much as anybody this weekend. Batting mark at 257. And now I think the hitters have in their mind, if that ball's anywhere near that outside corner, they better be swinging.
Well, it'll happen when hitters come back and they go down and look at the film and see the ball that far outside.
And he might as well stay out there. And Morgan gets one on the ground. That's a great block by Logan Morrison. That ball could have gone beyond his arm and into the left field corner. So the bases are loaded with 1 out. He almost played that into a triple or who knows what.
Well, he's choking Morgan way in, and that ball is just a great line drive and tremendous play effort as he blocks that ball with his glove as it scoots away from him. Adam able to get to third base, but the way that ball was cutting away from him, if that ball gets by and goes in that corner, I got to believe I'm betting on Niger for the inside the park home run.
Yep. I'm not sure Maben could have gotten over there into the left field corner in time to keep Niger from circling. So here's Pudge, who has to at least elevate the ball. And that's a fastball way up and in.
Fans.
Well, they're booing, but, I mean, Volstad's got a 3-run lead. He'd be insane to do anything here other than try to get the hitter out.
And Pudge has to work to get a ball up in the zone so he'll quit hitting those ground balls at shortstop. Now, you see that ball's down. That ball's down.
And not catchable.
It's down in the strike zone, a ball that more apt to be hit on the ground than in the air. Outfield way around to right field, shading the line. Davis actually shading the line for the Nats, for the Marlins.
I've got this as the second inning in the entire series when the Nationals have had 3 base runners, and the first time they've been on at the same time. There was another situation where they had 2 on and got a hit. Have to take advantage, score at least 1 here with 1 out. And Pudge with a base hit to left field. Dunn comes in. Here comes Michael Morris. Morrison's throw is way offline. And the Nats are on the board with a 2-run single by Pudge Rodriguez.
He gets the ball down, but he gets the head out. Doesn't hit it to shortstop, finds a hole. Look how far out he gets that bat barrel. Makes good contact, hits the ball hard. Morrison has all the qualities that you could have as a player, but has a weak throwing arm. That's why he's playing left field. He tries to make the play here, gets the ball way offline, hustling Michael Morris, scores the Nationals' second run.
Good send by Pat Listash with 1 out. Third base coaches have to know where the arms are and aren't. So Pat made a good call. By the way, he's walking back to his coaching box after a visit with Jordan Zimmerman. Zimmerman 0 for 4. He does have 2 career RBIs. You would expect him to be bunting here so that Desmond would come up with runners at second and third, 2 outs.
If he doesn't bunt here, I don't know what
You're never going to admit you were a manager again.
No, not.
But he punches at it and fouls it onto the screen. Well, the Nationals finally with a 2-run inning. First time this has happened since the 5th inning on Wednesday when Ramos hit the home run. Jordan Zimmermann has 4 major league hits and 6 big league sacrifices. That's a good take on a breaking ball diving away.
Marlins always have a play on, as do most every club in the big leagues. When a ball is bunted through, they automatically throw through because the runner has a tendency to get an extra step or two, and the shortstop will always be breaking behind the runner.
That's a foul tip.
And Jordan pulling the bat back, trying to deaden the ball, and we've spoke about it several times. You just get that bat barrel out front in an angle where the barrel is higher than your hands, and then you use your right hand and pretend that it's a glove, and then you just catch the ball with that hand on the barrel of the bat, and it's a lot easier to bunt if you just think about catching it instead of bunting at it.
2-2. Well, Volstad created some of this by walking Adam Dunn to lead off the inning with a 3-run lead.
And this is rare that you allow a hitter to swing, with two strikes.
One of the big
that's a pitcher.
One of the big parts of this inning, Morse going 0-2 and then breaking his bat, singling. Zimmermann does ground out. Can they turn 2?
And that's wrong.
They do. 4-6-3. The Nats get a couple of runs. Having a hard time getting over that hump. 3-2 ball game. Two new season tickets for next year. You get 2 free, plus the rest of this season free, and there is a long homestand coming up starting next week. Go to nationals.com/2011 for more information. Strange ball game. Lots of different sorts of non-fundamental things going on right now. 3-2 Marlins, top of the 3rd, and Dan Uggla coming up. Well, the Nats turned Jordan Zimmermann loose. He hit into a double play. And despite all the problems, you look up after 1 hour of baseball nearly, spanning just 2 innings, and the Nats are only down by 1. Last 7 games, the starting pitching's been pretty solid. There's been virtually no run support. Strikeout to walk ratio about 2.5 to 1. And opponents not hitting much.
That's great stats there, boy. You wish that you could pitch that way the whole season.
1 pitch to Uggla, fly ball to Morse. Jordan Zimmerman needs a lot of one-pitch or two-pitch outs. And Ugla was trying to jack one out of here, knowing that he might get a first-pitch fastball, which he did.
Well, let's go back to the things that have happened in this game that are weird. First of all, Stanton, your best pitch is your fastball. You don't throw a 3-2 slider to a guy that can hit the ball out of the ballpark, especially on breaking balls, if it's your second best pitch. You go with your best pitch there. He hasn't thrown good sliders today, so there was not any indication that his slider was outstanding to make him want to go to that slider. So he goes to the slider, hangs it, guy hits a home run, but it was not his first best pitch, and not a pitch that he's been able to throw today with any consistency. Then we make a couple of errors, and they steal bases. We make an errant throw to second base, which I don't think was that errant, but it certainly was a throw that didn't need to be made. And then we bunt. We don't bunt. We runs on first and second with your pitcher. So, this seems to me, and sometimes it's stupefying when you've been in the game this long to see some things happen that, you say, what?
I hear you. .58 pitches, first 2 innings for Zim. And a 1-2 pitch. Tracy will pop it up out of play. Well, the Cincinnati Reds are feeling pretty good about themselves today. They won last night. St. Louis lost. They have a 1-0 lead in the 5th inning at home over the Pirates. Jordan's at 50% first pitch strikes. Volstad very efficient. One of the guys, though, he didn't do that against was Adam Dunn. That's a 1-2 pitch. It's off speed, and it's a base hit.
Another breaking ball. He just doesn't have a breaking ball today, period. That doesn't mean he can't find it. You're going to have to continue to throw it to find it.
Or at least quit throwing it on 2 strikes.
Yeah, that could be it, Bob. They could be just waylaying on that thing with 2 strikes because he has thrown it. He doesn't have a strikeout yet. We came into the game talking about how effective he is missing people's bats.
15 Ks in 14 innings in his 3 starts since being reactivated. All right, there's that fastball in the inner half, and he gets the call 0-2.
Fastball in. Misses with it. See, he hasn't been able to make his pitch. You get to 0-2 where you just want to make a pitch. Catcher sets up inside, and it has to be an absolute feeling that you agree with him. Committed. You got to be committed that that's where you want to go and drill that thing inside.
Here's that breaking ball you talked about, 2nd inning.
But just watch how it just stays right there. It doesn't even break. It's a backup breaking ball. You see the loop in it. And when those balls are like that, it is no different than having a pitching machine in your backyard set on about 75, and you know that it's going to throw your breaking ball down the middle. You're going to hit it hard.
That's a fastball that's turned around. And the Marlins lead 5-2. Whatever Jordan Zimmerman tries against Mike Stanton, it's left the yard. And he has 2 homers, getting him to 20, and 3 RBIs, getting him to 49.
Well, he likes the ball inside. He tries to go away, and he gets it way inside. So it's not, if you want to look at the difference between throwing the ball where you want to and throwing the ball where a hitter would like it, just look how far Pudge is reaching. He missed his spot there by 18, 20 inches, and the result is somebody's going to get a home run. So it wasn't that Stanton beat Zimmerman at what Zimmerman wanted to do. Stanton beat Zimmerman by Zimmerman making a terrible pitch.
Second 2-homer game of Stanton's young career. Batista getting ready. 1-0 to Maben. He laces one to left. Well, this is not what we'd hoped for from Jordan Zimmermann. I know we've talked about this, Ray. We saw it with Jason Marquis. About that third start, maybe the fourth, you really hope to see the guy getting back to form. In Zimmerman's case, it appeared to only take 2 starts. But now, after going only 4 innings against the Mets and giving up 3 runs, he's being racked here in 3 innings by Florida.
Well, he's already walked 3 people. He's had 71 total pitches. And the 2 pitches that I recall the most was the 2 pitches to Stanton. He wanted to go slider away, and he threw it slider in hanging. Then he wanted to go fastball away, and he missed that spot by 2.5, 3 feet. So it's all about being able to make your pitch. Listen, if he sets up down and away, that's where he knows he's vulnerable. The farthest place from there is up and in. And he throws it up and in, he hits a bomb.
Nats were hoping for 90 to 95 pitches for 6 innings. They might get the 90 pitches, but that might only get Jordan through 4 today, depending on what happens here. He's at the bottom of the order with Mike Rivera. Remember, Maben was aboard last time when Rivera was up there, and they started the runner.
You know, remember, Bob, he came out real sharp with a ground ball, Bonifacio to short, and then an unassisted ground ball to first on a jam shot. And then he had Ramirez and threw him a strike to strike him out, but he walked. Then the error from shortstop. He got out of that inning, but the next hitter, Stanton, in the second inning hit a home run. These young pitchers have long memories. They aren't able to turn the page quickly, and when bad things happen to them, sometimes they sit there and grind and think about it. And, you know, the way that you're successful up here is you have to have a very short memory. If you make a bad pitch or somebody makes a bad call on you, turn the page and take it upon yourself to be just relentless to the strike zone.
Two runs in, a runner at first, 1 out, top of the third. Marlins out slugging the Nats 5-2. Washington working so long and hard for their 2 runs. And the Marlins, 1 swing, 2 runs right here. He got in on the hands of the right-hander there. Bernardina to the gap. Roger has it for the 2nd out. That'll bring up the pitcher, Volstad. One more Sunday Family Fun Pack Day remains. That'll be 2 weeks from today when the Nats are here to take on the Braves. $14 gets you a seat, hot dog, chips, and a soda. Visit Nationals.com to purchase your Family Fun Pack tickets. On the next homestand, which commences a week from tomorrow, Houston in for 4, a vastly improved ball club. The Braves for 3, the Phillies for 3, and then the Nats finish the season in New York. 3 weeks from today will be it. So today's ball game, number 143, exactly 20 games remaining, including today. Dad's a hero. I saw Dad looking up at the scoreboard, waiting for the replay to come up. I guess even fans do that now. 0-2. Jordan Zimmermann, 2 pitches from 80 with 2 outs in the third. Nice going. Volstad down the right field line. Morse chasing after it, can't reach it. It's a foul ball.
Ball just twisting, foul about 6 feet. Usually you play your right fielder close enough to the right field line that he can catch anything from there to the wall. With the pitcher pitching, he's moved over a couple of steps now. I mean, with the pitcher hitting, because they're not going to pull the ball very often.
That's a breaking ball for a strike, maybe the first one of the day. 2 more for the Marlins on the Stanton homer. Desmond's homered off Volstad this year. He leads off in a moment. By AT&T, rethink possible. Kind of fitting, looking at those bats, waiting for some more action. The Nats picked up 2 in the second. It is a family day here at the ballpark. August 11th here at Nationals Park. Second inning, 1 out, and Ian Desmond would hit his 8th homer of the year into the night against Volstad, right into the bullpen. He would later homer in that game against Jose Veras, but the Marlins would outslug the Nats 9-5. A typical Volstad game. He gave up 4 runs in 5 innings, but the Fish gave him plenty of support. Desmond had a not very good at bat to lead off the game. Swung at a first pitch fastball that was off the plate inside. Ended up bouncing out to the pitcher on a check swing, and the count's 1-1. And the strikes are on that side of the plate. He watched this one to left as he got a pitch inside. And the Nationals have 4 hits now within their last 5 batters.
He has an awfully quick bat. And if he gets the ball middle of the plate in, as long as it stays on the plate, he rocks that ball to left field as flat and as hard as any hitter we have. Just real quick hands.
Down 3. No running game to speak of here, you would expect. Kennedy goes up hacking. Adam bounced out to short first time after falling behind and battling his way through a prolonged at bat.
Let me make a comment on that running game so that people at home will understand and everybody that it's 5-2. The game is in balance. It's just the 3rd inning. If you're getting times from this pitcher, you know that the catcher can't throw. You don't just shut your running game down. You take the situation, you apply everything to it, and then make a decision that's smart. You don't necessarily run on the first pitch, second pitch, third pitch, but it doesn't mean that at some point, if you can read a pitch, if you have the pitches, or if you have a slow delivery with a bad throwing catcher, you can still run. It's just you got to have tremendous odds.
And you talked about situations. This is where you're mindful that Zimmerman is on deck. You're down by 3. You want Adam Dunn to bat in this inning.
Yeah.
And losing a runner would be the quickest way to possibly miss that.
Yeah.
And we've talked about this numerous times with Niger on first base this year. 1-2 to Kennedy. And the Marlins thought Desmond might be running there to stay out of a double play. Kennedy gets jammed and flies out to center. That'll bring up Zimmerman with one out. All right, let's tackle some trivia from our friends at AT&T. How many guys do we have to answer today? Oh, it's multiple choice. Second baseman, who's hit the most home runs all time?
Well,
I think it is still Rogers Hornsby. It could be Jeff Kent. Ugla hasn't played long enough to be in there.
It's one of the two.
Yeah.
And I don't think that Kent exceeded.
Now Desmond's running. That's a pitch, or rather a throw behind him and Ugla. My goodness. Mike Rivera airmailing one. And that was a total off-course throw. It'll be a stolen base and an error.
Now put everything. He gets a great jump. Not even close. Now take every situation and add it up. Rivera's been out of the game. Hasn't played in a year. So you know that he probably has trouble throwing accurately. But the most important thing is Desmond got to watch 5 pitches. And that is what
Zimmerman delivers the RBI. And the Nats make the Marlins pay for the error immediately. It's a 5-3 game.
That is what I look for in a base stealer. Give your offense a chance. Don't just take off with nobody out. Don't go the first and second pitch. Give it a chance to build a count. Nice job hitting that hanging breaking ball to right field. That's almost the same pitch that Stanton hit out of the ballpark, just a little higher in the hitting zone. Stanton hasn't learned to go the opposite way yet. He tries to pull everything, doesn't he, Bob?
Yep. Great swing by Zimmerman. His 83rd RBI. Now here's Adam Dunn.
A couple more factors in that stolen base situation. You had a left-handed hitter. He's hit the ball extremely well against Volstead, hasn't he? You had a left-handed hitter with the runner holding Desmond on. You want to give him as much of that hole as you can, so you don't send him. And then finally the right-handed hitter comes up there.
Dunn hits one right up the middle, and that's grabbed near the bag. Bonifacio continues to be a pain in the net. He turns the double play, and Washington settles for one. At DynCorp International, we salute our troops, thanking them for all the wonderful things they do here and abroad. After the third inning every day, the Nationals honor our fighting men and women, and we welcome them home. Here's our summary. Marlins on top 5-3. Pudge has driven in 2. Zimmerman the other. Emilio Bonifacio with an RBI. He just turned a double play. And Mike Stanton, the story of this game, Ray, with his 2 big home runs.
Yeah, want to go away with the breaking ball, gets it in. He hits it deep to left, straightaway left field. Want to go fastball away, get the fastball in, and he hits it right down the line. 2 home runs, big, strong kid, isn't he? Just looking to pull everything. He struck out equivalent to what would be 200 at bat. 200 strikeouts if he were to play a whole season. So he's not your prototypical contact guy.
Base hit by guess who?
My goodness, this guy's playing like, I don't know,
like he's got something to prove.
God.
Emilio Bonifacio, we're told by some of the Florida guys we've talked to, really isn't in their plans as a starting player when they get Chris Coughlin back next year. Last year's Rookie of the Year, they are planning to put him at third base, Lee Vugla at second, Morrison in left, Stanton in right. The one question they may have to be answered is who's going to play center field and produce any offense for them, because they got rid of Cody Ross, a very unpopular move in their clubhouse. Cameron Maybin, as mentioned, hitting under 240. And Emilio Bonifacio, with those 6 hits in this series, 3 RBIs, 3 steals, and 3 runs scored. And he's got a little swagger to him. He's an arrogant base runner, which many of the good base stealers are. Sort of, he knows he's going, you know he's going. And then time's called because everybody figures he's going. But the thing is, Ray, players like that get in your head. If you're the opposing manager, the opposing pitcher.
Well, he just stopped making contact last year after really the first couple of weeks. He was leading the league in hitting, and then he just started just missing the ball. And they gave up on him, called him back up. Now he's back up here. But, when we had him, he had some really good games, and he is electrifying. There's no question about it. He's electrifying.
Logan Morrison, the hitter, 0 for 1 with a walk. This guy's been hitting 1 hit per game, a 10-game hitting streak. 2 for 11 in this series. And that one lifted to right, hangs up long enough for Morris. And Michael at least made a play to first base, covering some good ground there for the first out. Let's have a look at our league leaders. Hollywood Casino, Charlestown Races. Lowest bullpen ERA since the 19th of August, which is just over 3 weeks ago. And the Nats are in the top 6. Right there with a whole bunch of contending clubs. Everybody contending there except for Houston, Milwaukee, Washington. Red hot slots await at Hollywood Casino, Charlestown Races, West Virginia. Bullpen, last 8 games untouchable.
Well, you put the bullpen stats out there. You put the starting pitchers stats out there over the last 10 or 12 games. And we're pitching, the Nationals are pitching as well as anybody in the game when you take the whole stat.
Batista with a long look outside to Ramirez. And by the way, I've been thinking about that trivia question. I think Jeff Kent hit a lot of his home runs at a position other than second base before he finally settled in. I'm thinking Ryan Sandberg might have hit the most at that position. I think it's either him or Hornsby. We'll find out. Dan Uggla will be up there someday. That ball into right center. Bonifacio reads it, goes to third. Now the ball gets away, but no further advancement. First and third with one out with Ugla coming up. Let's see, Dan Ugla started this year with 121 home runs. He has 29, so he's right at 150. He keeps this up. In the next 3 to 4 years, he'll be up there in Kent, Sandberg, Hornsby territory in terms of home runs by a second baseman. Oh for 2 today with a ground ball to short, booted by Desmond, and a fly ball to right. Ugla looking for his 90th RBI. Bonifacio led off the inning with a hit. 1 out later, third on the Ramirez drive. And every time the Nats have been able to score here today, the Marlins have come right back and answered. The 1-1 pitch. Ramirez forcing Batista to wait forever. Ugla getting time. That ball clubbed foul. Dan Ugla right on what he's been doing the last 3 years. 31, 32, and 31 home runs. His rookie year 06, he hit 27. He's been an amazing power hitter. Not a big, strong guy, but he's strong. 5'11", 207 they list him, but pound for pound, extremely strong. Breaking ball outside. Right at 150 homers. A lot of strikeouts. But in today's game, you'll take that with the power and the run production. All right, Ray, I'm going to go with Ryne Sandberg because I think Jeff Kent hit a lot of his home runs at other positions like third. It is Kent. Did he hit all of those at second base?
No, he played third. He played a little bit of first, but
my understanding, Sandberg had the most by a guy just strictly playing second, but we'll check it. Did they say it's so? We're with him. Well, that's not hard enough for 2. Marlins will score a run. Desmond gets the out. And down to second base, Ramirez. Well, when they back it up like this, Sandberg only hit 277 as a second baseman. Biggio played a lot of different positions. I think we might have to do a little research on this one. Not sure Kent hit all of those at second, but Jeff Kent was recognized as the most prolific doubles and home run hitter as a second baseman to come along in a long time, since the great Hornsby, way back in the early 1900s.
And Batista did his job, got the ground ball with runners on first and third, just made such a good pitch. Uggla wasn't able to hit it hard enough to be able to turn to.
That one served out foul to the left side by Chad Tracy. And that one charged by Adam Kennedy. Well, the Nats having a hard time keeping the Marlins down. They've scored in 3 straight innings and lead 6-3. Ball game on Sundays. It's a great deal for families, and they're seeing a lot of action. 6-3 Marlins, still the middle of the ball game, Ray. Now, anything you can put a finger on the last 2 times out with Jordan Zimmermann, because after that outing in Florida, we thought he was really on his way.
Well, he's throwing the ball exceptionally well. His slider today was the reason that he failed. He didn't have a good slider. He wasn't able to throw it for strikes. The second thing is location. Anytime that you have that many pitches, basically 160 pitches in 2 outings, and you only go 7 total innings, it's because you're not locating. You're not able to get the ball where you want to in those crucial situations when you have to make a pitch.
Roger Bernardina struck out looking first time on a pitch outer half. He'll go out and get one of those pitches this time. Off-speed delivery. And a big round to first base. The Nats' bats are starting to come to life here.
You know, and on the positive side of everything, Jordan has come out of all of his starts without any ill effects of throwing 80 pitches. He is a guy that, when healthy and getting 33, 34 starts a game, is going to give you right at, I believe, 200 innings and be a guy that eventually can win you, 14 to 20 ball games. His stuff's just that good, but it doesn't matter if you're behind in the count all the time. But he has to settle back in and get the feeling of feeling like he belongs out there, like he did in the one outing. That is not an aberration in the outing that he went 6 innings and only gave up 1 hit, which was late in the game, and struck out 9. I mean, It just takes a little time, and he's still at the very beginning of really rehab, almost in a spring training type situation. So he's going to have his good games.
And Morris will take a breaking ball, called for a strike, 1-1.
And as he gets more acclimated to pitching every fifth day in the big leagues, he's going to become a guy that you can rely on and depend on. And I believe that with all my heart.
Short lead by Roger.
Now, based upon what I last saw with the throw that Rivera made to second, if I so choose, not 1-0 count, not 1-1, but later in the count, let him go. He's going now.
Yeah, he's going to go now, and he's out. Then the ball's dropped. They had him. Ugla dropped the ball. He had it in his glove. It appeared long enough to make the tag, and then it came out. So it's a stolen base for Bernardina, his 15th.
Doesn't get a good jump. Doesn't get a good jump. He didn't go until the knee was up, but there he was, and I'm not sure he's out either. You watch here. This is going to be very, very close. He drags the ball there. Oh, man. From that angle. But because it was such a bang-bang play, the force of the tag knocked the ball right out.
And you know what makes that happen, Ray? Spikes first.
Spikes first.
Hand first tag, the ball doesn't come out like that.
No doubt.
There is an element of fear for a second baseman or a shortstop when a guy comes in with his feet rather than his fingertips. There's no risk at all on a head-first slide for the defender. Now Morse will walk, and as the sun pokes through for the first time today, the Nationals have 2 runners aboard.
And the reason for that, Bob, is you do all your business with your hands. You hit with your hands. Obviously, you field and you throw with your hands. And if something, it doesn't take a whole lot. A sprain, to be cleated, a deep bruise, and, you're out for 2 or 3 weeks. So, and those cleats coming at that force, they hit your hands really hard, sometimes up on your wrist, high on your thumb.
Okay, question for you here, Mr. Manager.
Yes, sir.
You're down by 3. Lightning quick base runner with the bat in his hands as Bert Badenhop gets ready. Any entertaining thought of a bunt here?
I'd like to see him bunt for a base hit.
All right.
There's that attempt.
There's our answer.
Because
if he lays down a good one, it's going to move the runners up, and he might beat it out as a bonus.
And they start throwing the ball around, Bob. I mean, you start throwing the ball around, that thing liable to get out in that right field corner, and you have an old-fashioned steeplechase guys going around those bases. That's the one good thing that I do like about a bunt is somebody has to make a throw.
Niger. Now, that time he was showing sacrifice.
That was sacrificed. You're right. No question.
Because he squared around very early.
And, I mean, we're in the early part of the ball game now, so you can play this thing, and you've got a pinch hit. There's no doubt you're committing yourself to pinch hit right here, and another pitcher, if you bunt him over.
That's got a chance. There he goes, and he's going to be out on a very good play. Mike Rivera pouncing out to throw out Niger Morgan, who will get a sacrifice, even though he's bunting for a hit.
Beautiful play, great job, great execution. It's just a tremendous job by the catcher getting out here. And that is a great play by a catcher. Going hard away from the plate, making the play, doing a 360 and throwing a seed to first base. So, and just almost threw that thing away as Ugla makes a funny catch, not putting the right foot on the bag. You should have your right foot on the bag so that you can stretch either way instead of your left foot. Anytime you're playing first base, don't put the foot on the bag that your glove hand side is on.
All right, here's Pudge, who drove in two innings ago. And he goes up, swinging at a breaking ball that was probably outside the zone. Pudge now with 46 RBIs. That was hit number 2,808. At that time, the game was 3-2. Now it's 6-3.
Just gets a fastball that's middle in, hits it hard in the hole, drives in 2 runs, and delivers a clutch base hit. Here with the infield back on all 4 positions, any ground ball except to the pitcher is an RBI.
And of course, Pat Listash knows that the left fielder does not throw that well. Logan Morrison found that out on that base hit previously. Bernardina, great speed. Morrison in left. Morse at second.
Outfield deep enough that I think a base hit will score both runs unless it's a laser to Stanton and right.
Breaking ball well outside.
Nationals right in this ball game, putting multiple runners on base in every inning but the first.
Rogers singled up the middle to start the inning. Stole second. Morse walked. Niger laid down a bunt that was almost a hit. Moved both runners up. And now Pudge fighting behind in the count 1-2.
You know, Niger may not be a leadoff hitter. He may not be. But I don't know why he can't hit in the second hole the way that he's able to bunt.
And Pudge will get an RBI on a ground ball to the right side. It's now 6-4. That'll move Michael Morse to third, and Pudge has a 3 RBI day.
You know, it makes a little more sense to me if he's only going to have a 314, 315 on base percentage, which you don't know that's the way he's going to settle in his career, but he's going to have to draw more walks. But batting second, he'll have the advantage of a runner on base a lot of times, and the fact that he can use that bunt as a serious offensive weapon, whether it be a base hit, bunt for base hit, and also with runners on first base, they will have to cheat in at short and second in order to even think about turning the double play, so that'll shorten the field and give him more holes to drive the ball through.
Yeah, good stuff. Kevin Mensch with the pinch hitting appearance here. With 2 outs, 3 for 13 with an RBI as a pinch batter. Make a mistake, he can hit it a long way. That's a pretty good breaking ball by Chris Volstad. So Volstad's going to outlast at least 2 Nationals pitchers as Mensch hits for Batista. And Colin Ballister will evidently be next. He better be ready because Mike Stanton's leading off the top of the 5th. That's been a strike all day.
Ballister has been very impressive. Opposition hitting 214, and he's been able to punch out 19 hitters so far in 11 2/3 innings. So by far the best we've seen him throw at his 3 stops here in the big leagues.
And Mensch will pull it to the shortstop, Ramirez. Nats are gone in the 4th inning. They're pecking away. Time to hold down the Marlins, though. They lead 6-4. Yes, I always get nervous when Teddy's spectacles are bouncing back and forth. Can he really see where he's going? Evidently not.
Well, he just follows the sound of the thundering herd.
Look at George throwing out the hands. Wow. George coming up big right there. Family Fun Pack Day at the ballpark. A lot of action. This thing's still very much up for grabs. But it would be nice to at least establish a trend of putting some zeros on the board next to that Florida name. Marlins have scored in 3 of 4 innings today. Stanton, who's homered twice, leads off. Mabin and Rivera to follow. And Colin Ballister. This will be his 10th appearance. 19 strikeouts in 11 2/3. This will be an interesting matchup.
Well, now Mr. Stanton has 20 home runs. He has 48 RBIs and 289 at-bats, 100 strikeouts. So he's striking out 1 every 2.8 at-bats.
Wow. When he makes contact, look out, huh?
No doubt. He has 38 extra base hits. Excuse me. Check that. 49 RBI.
Hits it hard. Unstoppable. He had a 5-hit game against the Nationals the last time the Marlins came to town. He was 5 for 5 in that August 11th game when Volstad was pitching. He had a triple, single, double, homer, and another single.
Well,
Pardon me, he didn't have a triple. He had 2 doubles, 2 singles, a homer. Very nearly the cycle.
Well, he's a lot like Dave Winfield in that he's tall and rangy. He's got, just that bat that the ball explodes off of. And even though that pitch was working its way down out of the strike zone, he hit the ball with so much bat speed that the ball just jumps through the infield. I remember when Dave Winfield was a young player with the Padres, and he would hit balls that just did not seem like he got very much of the ball, and the ball would just get through the infield. Just so strong.
And Ballister misses up and in. 1 ball, 1 strike to Cameron Mabin. He's walked and singled today. Some ball games moving along. Top of the 9th at New York. Behind Roy Oswalt, Phillies 3, Mets nothing. Raul Ibanez has hit his 14th home run. And the Phillies are trying to go a half game up on the Braves, pending their outcome tonight at home against St. Louis, with Tim Hudson going against Kyle Loesch. Tim Lincecum and Matt Latos later when the Giants visit San Diego. They've split that series so far among the West leaders. Padres lead the Giants by 1. And Colorado's gone absolutely crazy in September again, like they did 3 years ago. They've won 9 straight. They're 2.5 back. Just underway against Arizona. 3-1 to Mabin. That'll get him near the trademark. And Bernardino waiting. Sounded like he might have busted his bat on that fly ball. 1 on, 1 out. Mike Rivera coming up. Every Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Miller Lite Party Night at Nationals Park. Get a scoreboard pavilion seat and a drink voucher. $20, $22 for prime games. Come early, pregame happy hour at the Miller Lite Scoreboard Walk Bar. And there will be one more Miller Lite Party Night sequence this year. The 23rd, 24th, 25th. The Thursday against Houston, the Saturday and the Friday before it against Atlanta. Jose Seda is the right-hander, joining Chris LaRue. They have 9 right-handers in their bullpen.
Volstead in the on-deck circle, if he doesn't go back out to pitch, he obviously can't get the win.
Yeah, they want him to get 5, I guess. But as usual, the Nats hit him. Now they've got the runner. Pudge is going to run right at Stanton, which is the proper thing to do. Then they'll tag him out.
Golly, perfectly executed.
As opposed to a young catcher who might have thrown to one of the bases, and then the runner goes the other way. That's great baseball by Pudge Rodriguez. And Ray, the reason he was able to make the play, he made a fantastic pickup on the pitch.
He did, and I'm not even going to explain to the kids at home how to do it. Just watch this. He gives him the fake throw, he stops. That's just perfect fundamentally.
I mean, if you don't throw the ball, where can the runner go?
You always run at him when he's in the middle. Anytime that he's in the middle or, at least 30, 40 feet off of either base, just run at him.
Inning comes to a quick end, thanks to the future Hall of Fame catcher. Great fundamentals right there. Top of the order for the Nats in the 5th. Both. Bottom of the 5th coming up. It's on to Atlanta tomorrow, Monday, 7 o'clock. Nassau HD. South of downtown Atlanta, Turner Field. Yaneski Maya, first start against the Mets. 5 hits, 4 runs in 5 innings. 2 walks, 3 strikeouts. We'll see how the Cuban right-hander does his second time out. Derek Lowe is 0-3 against the Nats this year and 1-8 against the NL East. 12-12 with a 4.42 ERA. 6:30 p.m. Nats Extra. 3 in Atlanta. Day off Thursday. 3 in Philly. Desmond, Kennedy, and Zimmerman, bottom of the 5th. Volstead, 76 pitches, 46 strikes. And the Nats have roughed him up. Desmond shows bunt. That got Bonifacio moving in. He'll pull it on one hop to the third baseman. Desmond 1 for 3 today, 1 for 10 in the series. That brings up Adam Kennedy. Turned into a beautiful day here. Sun trying to fight its way through the cloud cover. After today, the Nationals have 10 home games left. 9 on the road. Kennedy left side. Bonifacio on a short hop. And Zimmerman will bat with the bases empty. Chris Volstead enjoys the best support since the All-Star break. 8 runs a game. Wow. And as you might expect, all the others are in the American League, where you get lots of run support, but it's hard to have a low ERA yourself. Zimmerman will be the hitter. Ryan today is at the ball hard twice. Liner to center and a liner to right for an RBI hit back in the 3rd. Ryan would have to average almost an RBI per game to reach 100.
And that's what you do in your hot streaks. I mean, sometimes you can have 12, 13 RBIs in a week. So he just has to have one more of those Ryan Zimmerman patented hot streaks, and he may be able to get there.
He's driven in 100 twice. 110 his first full year, 06, and 106 last year. He's got that right field stroke going right now. That's a thing of beauty. Ryan's 2 for 3, and he's hitting well up over 300 now.
Well, he's a wonderful hitter, man. He hits the ball all over the ballpark. He makes his adjustments. Doesn't try to do too much. He's up there knowing his club's a couple runs down and just drives the ball to right field with just such a level swing. Stays on the ball.
You know, Ray, we probably don't talk about that enough, the level swing, because everybody talks about Albert Pujols and how much time his bat spends in the hitting zone. Zimmerman has a flat swing a lot like that. Two different type of hitters, but neither uppercutting, neither chopping down, right in between.
Yes, and you can just take your pencil and draw a U, and take your pencil and draw a reversed 45-degree angle, and that U, the bottom of it is the way most hitters swing. They take it up and they go up, and there's just about sometimes only a 4 or 5 inch area in there that their swing bottoms out and is flat, and that stays on the same plane as a ball. Where you take a guy like Zim, his bat starts and it goes straight from a spot down through the ball and stays on plane for sometimes 2 and 3 feet.
2-0 to Adam Dunn, representing the tying run. That's low, ball 3. And surely the green light is blazing here on 3-0, don't you think?
No question. Adam needs to be committed. I said that the other night. Just if you are going to swing 3-0, you unload on that thing. You don't try to guide it. You look for the ball in an area that you know you like it. When you see it there, you just unleash that thing. The other night, it almost looked like the ball he hit the center field, that there was just a little bit of guiding his bat to the ball, and you don't see Adam do that very often.
Outer half with a fastball. Phillies have won that game at New York 3-0, so they're back in first place for a couple of hours. Look at that on 3-1. Are you kidding me?
Golly.
Is that real? 7:33?
I had to get closer to make sure I didn't misread that.
He'll take the walk. Second time they've passed him today. 2 on, 2 out with Roger Bernardina coming up. That's Volstad's third walk on the day, and he is struggling to get through 5 innings as Randy St. Clair pays a visit.
And this is the difference between being a 500 ball club and fighting for a pennant, because there would be a change made right here if you're in a pennant race, and this win meant everything. You'd have had everybody and his brother out there getting loose in the bullpen, and you just wouldn't allow, even after 2 quick outs at 88 pitches.
And at 3:30 local time, the Nats are trying to bust through just like the sunshine has done here. 2 on after 2 outs in a 2-run ball game. Roger Bernardina 1 for 2 today, base hit last time, a steal of second, and he came home on the Rodriguez ground ball. Volstad a breaking ball, but it stays upstairs.
They're playing Roger. This is straightaway right here. So they're playing him to hit the ball the opposite way, giving him the right field gap and right center. So they should be pitching him away and playing him that way.
Half swing, base hit. Here comes Zimmerman. He will score. It's a 6-5 game. And Bernardina's 2 for 3 today. Roger with his 43rd RBI.
Getting the job done doesn't always mean doing it perfectly. And Roger just doing whatever he had to do. Fooled on the pitch up, tried to check it, but was square with the ball. And there comes that little kind of a lollipop throw from Morrison, which was only 50 feet behind third base, but nice read on that ball by Zim.
And Chris Volstad will not get his 5 innings for a win today. The Nats have knocked him out. Game now. They've trailed 3-0. They've trailed 5-3, 6-3, and now it's 6-5. And Volstad can't be happy. 1 out away from a possible W. And the Nats have taken it away from him. He'll get a no decision. Michael Morse will bat against Burt Badenhop with a tying run at second base, lead run at first, 2 outs.
He might not get a no decision if this guy hits a home run.
You're right. He could be the loser. Morse with a base hit, a walk. Badenhop's 43rd appearance, 3.88 ERA. Not a strikeout guy per se, 42 strikeouts in 56 innings. That's a breaking ball that he looked like he was all over.
Oh, it did. Kind of that Frisbee kind of look. He drops down. This thing's like a Frisbee. It does have just a tad depth to it.
I'm not sure I've seen more any breaking ball more in the middle of the box this year than that one.
That was bullseye, wasn't it?
There's a fastball in there. And Joel Peralta, who seems like he warms up every day.
Boy.
A breaking ball take.
If you can envision those 2 breaking balls, the one that hung and that last one that broke big, and go all the way back to Stanton's at bat, and the one that hung, and just vision that one breaking big, that's the difference in what you intend to do and what you did. That last one that was fairly nasty. Hard and a lot of break to it.
2-2 to Morris. Just upstairs. And that's big because now the runners will be moving, enhancing the chances of speedy Bernardina scoring from first on an extra base hit. Speed waiting in Morgan. That's a breaking ball low, and the bases are loaded for Niger. Pretty good solid at bat by Michael Morse, who's walked twice today. In fact, Michael Morse had only walked 12 times all year.
He got it right. He got it right, boy. I never had the guts to take those pitches now.
Morgan 1 for 1 with a base hit and a sacrifice. And you were hoping he wouldn't swing at the first pitch after a walk. He took it for a fastball low. Right side, Aglo with a sliding play. Not known as a great second baseman, but that was a very good play. Stranding 3 Nationals runners. On to the 6th. We're barely past halftime here. 6-5. Let's keep battling back. You can follow it all on your iPhone, iPod Touch, BlackBerry, Android phone with MLB.com at Bat 2010. Real-time play-by-play, box scores, video highlights. Listen to every game live and watch games on your smartphone. Keep up with the Nats and baseball all season long. Badenhop is out of the ball game after a walk and a ground ball. He could be the winning pitcher. It could be up to the scorer later. As Hector Luna will bat for him, leading off top of the 6th. Let's just hope we don't see a Luna double. Had enough of that all year. Hector Luna, a former Rule 5 guy with St. Louis and Cleveland most of his big league career. He's always been a good hitter. 1-1 from Ballister. Luna limited at bats, 2 for 19. One of those hits a home run. But in his big league career in St. Louis, Cleveland, and in Toronto, a .270 average. Adam Dunn just got some help from Mike McGowan from the Nats dugout with some new sunglasses. Conditions much different than they were 5 innings ago. In fact, as we are between 3:30 and 4 o'clock now, at this time of the year, the shadows behind home plate come creeping a lot earlier than they did in the middle of the summer. The hitting conditions will change dramatically here in the next 15 or 20 minutes. Great breaking ball by Ballister. It'll require a throw by Pudge. 1 out. Even though Chris Volstad's still in the 9th spot, he is out of the ball game. He had a sacrifice and a strikeout. Box score busy for the Marlins again. They've scored 6 runs on 8 hits. The Nats 5 runs, 8 hits. And here's Bonifacio, 2 for 3 at the top of the order. An RBI, a steal, 2 more runs scored today.
Trying to incorporate that little Butcher Boy deal there. You saw him draw his bat back, but he had his bat in position as he was moving forward to slap the ball. I saw Nigel do that a couple of times this year.
3-0. Don't walk this guy. He's been almost an automatic steal in this series. Bonifacio against the Nats, 3 for 3. And they really haven't come close to throwing him out yet. He has no power, so throw it down the middle a couple of times. He has 1 major league home run. That was an inside the park homer against the Nats in Florida last year. 3-2. A little high. Could be costly. A lot of pressure under the batter's box here with Pudge Rodriguez. Ask about the Nats, MASNsports.com. Something on your mind we'd like to know. Looks like Jim Riggleman's ready for a double switch here. So Ballister walks Bonifacio. Collin will go an inning and a third. 1 hit, 2 strikeouts, 1 walk, and he's done. Double switch. Willie Harris going to right field. A lot of wheels turning, lots of extra players available here in September. Get 2 free. Plus, get the rest of this season free. Go to nationals.com/2011 for more information. Good to watch that guy play third base every day. The kids up the middle. The speed in the outfield. 2011 season tickets on sale. Logan Morrison against Joel Peralta. With Bonifacio at first, Ray, I'm wondering if Peralta is considered quicker to the plate than Ballister is. One possible reason for going one right-hander for another here?
Well, I know that he is much more experienced in the relief role, and he'll have a good idea how to hold the runner. But I think the reason that this change is made is because Peralta's been so successful against left-handers as well as right-handers. Just 204 left-handers hitting against Joel, and right-handers 163. So I think the experience too, and him having been in the back part of the game so many times, and Ballister just kind of breaking into that role.
That was interesting. He got ahead with an off-speed pitch. Nats will appeal. Laz Diaz says no swing. But a lot of times if you throw all your hard stuff early in the at-bat and fall behind, then the base runner knows there's off-speed stuff coming on which he can run.
That's a great point, Bob. And this guy's a good fastball hitter. But Joel is just one of those guys with his 4 pitches. He throws them at any time because he has the confidence he can throw them for strikes.
Pudge is set up way inside. And Bonifacio back.
It truly is amazing for a man to play that position for all these years. 20 years in the big leagues, 37 years old, and to bounce around the way he does, and just to have legs that are able to, get him upstairs, much less catch 125 games and come out of there and fire peas from his knees, run runners down. I just marvel at watching him, and these young catchers cannot do anything but learn just by being near him.
Line drive, foul. And the count 2-2.
Well, he goes inside with a fastball, and that tells me that he's probably going to come back with something soft. He very well may not, but that's kind of a general thing. Come in with a fastball, then go back to something soft, as he had Morrison out front the first couple soft pitches he threw. Now, if Bonifacio is thinking that way, but he's not, he's going to go with fastball away.
2-2 pitch. Runner holding, out of play left side.
And a good one, 92 miles an hour. And he spots the ball exceptionally well. You don't see very many of his pitches being way off target. He throws most of his pitches, or a high percentage of his pitches, near the strike zone, just moving just a tad off the plate, but always something that makes a hitter stay alert, because he certainly has great control.
2-2 again, target away. Big lead by Bonifacio. He's running. Ball popped up. Fielders were deking him to make him think the ball was on the ground, but Bonifacio found it. So did Morgan. And he's back to first base with 2 outs. But those middle infielders, on a ball like that, they want the runner to think the ball's on the ground somewhere to keep him going. And it's very important for the base runner to be aware and pick that ball up. Looks like Adam Dunn's going to get some sunglasses from the dugout now and hand them off to Niger Morgan.
That's a good thing to see. A lot of people don't come in and get those things when they see that sun change and start popping out of the clouds. And that's 2 players that have done that.
Adams got the old flip downs as opposed to the fashion plate over at third base. Ryan Zimmerman with his white framed shades.
Well, unless they've changed those fashion plate, whatever they are, they're not really dark enough. Those old time flip downs, they're like Coca-Cola bottles, Ben, and it actually turns the ball black, and you're looking up in the sun, and the sun's just blotted out, and you see a dark ball, and it's very easy to catch that ball. It protects you so much. And the new glasses that they tend to use just aren't as dark. And you still see the ball, and it looks gray, and there's always some type of sheen around it. They use the eye black. I never used eye black. I never figured out what it did.
I think it looks cool. Kennedy's evidently got the eye black and the shades. So. No balls and 1 strike to Ramirez. Hanley has walked and singled today. He's having a typical series, 4 for 10. There's one thing he hasn't done in the series, and I'm not about to bring it up.
Well, I won't either.
Thank you. That's all he's done this year? Seems worse. 0-2, how do you put him away? Long look, time given.
Pudge, watching him from up here, he's setting up away. The umpire calls time, and he immediately jumps inside because he knows the catcher, the hitter's going to look back at him. Just little things that the great veteran players do to play mind games with you. I would go with some type of breaking ball or something soft right on top of the plate. You know, Hanley's as good a fastball hitter as there is. So off the plate away or something down to the plate. That's a pretty good spot. You know, Jim's been blessed with great relievers, and this staff, this bullpen especially, has been so complimentary of each other. But there's three guys in the bullpen that add something special. That's Peralta and his ability to get left-handers out, Flipper's ability to get left-handers out, and also Burnett's ability to get right-handers out. So you're able to bring them in a stretch of three hitters, and even if there's a left-hander or not a real good matchup for your other pitchers, the fact that they can get hitters on both sides of the plate out is a big plus.
I wonder if they'd pitch out on 1 and 2 here. He's got I mean, this is a huge lead, and he's not going. Bonifacio had his left foot, his back foot, even with the cut of the grass.
He'll go
We
here.
usually measure a good lead if his right foot is that far.
I think he'll go here. I think right there he was respecting the pitch out.
I'd pitch out on 2 and 2 against Hanley Ramirez. But you better make sure you get the runner.
Yeah.
I know 2 and 2 a pitch out risky, but this guy,
I think he's going to go 2-2.
productive hitter.
He tried to.
Maybe Hanley Ramirez doesn't like guys running while he's watching the pitcher. Desmond is there. And a good job by Peralta. Pudge Rodriguez, 3 RBIs today. He'll lead off in the bottom of the 6th. Bottom of the 6th inning in a ball game in progress now for about 2 hours and 20 minutes. It's a long one. Game summary, lots of pitchers, lots of hits, lots of runs. Mike Stanton, the big star for the Marlins. 2 homers, a single, 3 RBIs. Emilio Bonifacio all over the bases. Pudge Rodriguez having an RBI day for the home team.
Yeah, after Adam walks and base hit by Morris, gets a base hit in the left field to score 2 runs in the second. The first of his two of his first 3 RBIs. He actually drove in a run later with an infield ground ball, and then runner gets hung up here. He runs right at him, forces him to go to second. Fake throw, tags him, just like they wrote it up in the manual.
He leads off. Willie Harris to follow here in the 6th. And then the top of the order. Against former National Brian Sanchez. Doing a solid job for the Marlins. 53rd appearance. .266 ERA. He's a contact pitcher who's only struck out 38 in 51 innings, but opponents are only hitting .217 against him.
A lot of splitters, sinker, slider.
And Pudge looking at the first pitch from a new hurler. It's a battle of the bullpens now. And he drops the breaking ball in there nicely. 0-2. Willie Harris first at bat. He's already in the game playing right field. Big doings in Cincinnati. The Reds had a 1-0 lead into the top of the 9th. The Pirates just scored 3. Here's the Nats box score. Finally busy after Washington had scored only 5 runs in 38 innings. 2 in the 2nd, a run in the 3rd, in the 4th, and the 5th. Pecking away, still looking for that big inning.
No extra base hits out of the 8 hits that the Nats have today.
That's right. A couple of stolen bases. Desmond and Bernardina, each with their 15th. I think both of those guys will be 2020 sometime in the next couple of years. Oh, a pitch way upstairs. Pudge is going.
70 miles an hour? I don't know what that was. I mean, I've never seen him throw a pitch that slow. I mean, what is this? Splitter that got, it was
like
a splitter.
A curve.
Well, he actually gripped it like a splitter, and I think it just came out the top of his hand. And he certainly don't want it up there, but see the split there? And he threw it, and it came out the top of his hand, and he wasn't able to get any velocity on it.
Wow.
A foot out of the strike zone, but Pudge thought it was a hanger, and he was going to bang it. He never got there.
Willie Harris looks at a strike. Shadows of the grandstand just at the feet of the umpire now. Right at 4 o'clock the local time. 1 out, bottom of the 6th. And on 0-2, you have to be swinging. Willie was close enough.
And there was a splitter that was at 75 miles an hour. Nationals only 1 strikeout today. That's really good, making contact all day long. 2 strikeouts, actually. Bernardina in the 2nd, and then Pudge.
Off-speed pitch outside. Harris was kind of walking right outside with it. Took a good look at it. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Ian Desmond has a base hit, a steal, a run scored today. Outside, 3-2.
Well, Sanchez is a guy that you can run on for sure. And being the 9-hole hitter, Willie has not been nearly as aggressive stealing bases this year as he has in the past, but he can steal one.
And Willie Harris is gone. He thought the pitch was inside. Wally Bell punched him out, 2 outs. It'll be Desmond now.
The Jim didn't think it was a strike either. Let's see what happens here. That's a strike.
Well, it always looks bad when the pitcher doesn't throw it where the catcher's set up. And Rivera was set up off the plate away.
And you never have a manager to yell at the umpire unless he sees a player react adversely or in disagreement. And that's why Riggleman was yelling out there.
Well, we have to give credit where it's due. Wally Bell did call that one correctly. Had some issues early in the game. I think everybody got used to where the strike zone is. And here's Desmond trying to get aboard for Kennedy here in the 6th.
Well, also, managers have long memories. If you go back to that first inning when they called Ramirez, call that pitch a ball, it was the same exact pitch. It was in that same spot, right there on that bottom line. 2-2, didn't ring him up. He walks. Extended the inning. He got out of it without any problems, but he had almost 30 pitches.
There's that same breaking ball, and Desmond took it this time.
And I don't think it's coincidental, as the Nationals only had the 1 strikeout in the 2nd inning with Bernardina, 2 strikeouts now in the 6th. As you see the game get deeper and deeper, we have a tendency to strike out more because you're looking for that home run on 1 swing to tie the ball game, and you just got to keep playing that game where you're just getting a pitch to drive, to get a base hit.
He's gone.
See, it's been kind of that way all year long.
After 1 strikeout through 5, the side goes on strikes in the 6th. Yet to be played. The offense has made some noise today. Disappointing inning right there, but it's nice to see some hits and some RBIs. It's been 5 days.
Well, 8 hits, singles, some walks, some key base hits, Pudge being the guy with the key base hit, and a bullet that was hit that they made a play on out there. Ugla made a play on backhanding a ball with the bases loaded. So little things different. Adam hit a ball hard up the middle, hits the mound and kicks off, but there's still a lot of game left. The game's in balance, and see if the boys can bring one home.
Here's Dan Ugla. I did a little additional research, by the way, on that second baseman home run thing. Yeah. Jeff Kent does have the most all-time. He hit 345 as a second baseman. Ryan Sandberg, 275. Rogers Hornsby, 271 while playing second base. Your old buddy Joe Morgan's in the top 4, 268. And Dan Uggla right now would be number 17 on the all-time list. So he's going to start climbing the charts pretty quickly here in the next couple of years. He's at 150 in what is only his 5th full year in Major League Baseball. Uggla today 0 for 3 with an RBI ground ball. He got jammed and skies it out into left center. The sun is behind the clouds now, easier for the outfielders. Niger has it. We got some league baseball notes for you. Johan Santana, they've shut him down. Remember, he was supposed to start against the Nats Monday. Roy Halladay, this is surprising. John Denny won a Cy Young for the Phillies 27 years ago. And Halladay's the first with 18 wins for the Phils since then. And Pat White, a former Dolphins and West Virginia quarterback, who is a two-sport athlete, is signed with Kansas City.
I saw where he had been drafted 4 different times, Pat White. Every year from, I guess, 2005 on, he was picked in the draft.
Quarterbacks trying to play baseball. Adam Dunn's probably the best. It hasn't gone well for some others. Remember John Elway tried to play baseball for a while? Chad Tracy and Mike Stanton, the next 2 hitters here, 7th inning. This portion of our ball game today brought to you by Bank of America. Man, this is like a Sunday afternoon in the backyard in the hammock, just kind of swinging back and forth. No concept of time whatsoever. A ball game over 2.5 hours in the top of the 7th inning. September games tend to be that way with lots of additional players and pitchers available. And the count 1-2 to Chad Tracy.
Well, the young pitchers in that bullpen can pay attention to the way that this man pitches and learn a little bit through osmosis, maybe, as talked about Rodriguez and how he goes about his business. This guy knows how to pitch, and he has really come on this year.
Yeah, he just gets outs. Not really a ground ball pitcher. He'll get you strikeouts. All 3 batters who faced him today have hit the ball in the air. All routine outs. And good hitters they are. Morrison, Ramirez, and Uggla.
And he's at 42 innings, right at 42 innings, and still has his earned run average at 218. Opposition's hitting 178 against him, which is by far the lowest of any of our pitchers. Tyler Clippard, they're hitting 214 against him, so he's representing some pretty good stuff out there, and he makes his pitch when he has to.
Well, that corner has been pretty much a strike all day long. Chad Tracy doesn't like the call, and Wally Bell just shakes his head no.
Well, if I'm a hitter, I'm swinging at anything close out there, and this wasn't even close. So I'm probably taking that one too, and that's when you lose it, when a ball's that far away.
Chad will not be happy when he sees that tape, and some Nationals fans and broadcasters will feel your pain. Stanton is 3 for 3, 2 homers, a single, 3 RBIs. I'd say, okay, big boy, beat me to right field and I'll tip my cap to you. No more stuff inside.
Yeah, he's had what we call cookies to hit for home runs, a hanging breaking ball and a fastball up. But hey, you got to hit him, and he's just strong enough. If you get the ball over the big part of the plate, he's going to do something with it. Good pitch.
All right, if you're going to throw it in there, move him out.
Good pitch. Make him move his feet. And throw it in there with some authority like you mean it.
What do you follow it up with?
Hook. Fastball away or a hook.
If it was 1-1, you could buzz him again because you know he's probably going to be leaning out there.
Change up. Ball.
Yep. Cincinnati Reds have just gone out with the bases loaded, bottom of the ninth, and the Pirates beat them 3-1 with 3 in the top of the ninth. That'll keep Cincinnati 6.5 up on St. Louis. They play in Atlanta tonight against Tim Hudson. 3-0 pitch to Stanton. Pudge was set up so far outside, it was almost like an intentional walk.
That was strange.
Well, we've talked about Hudson pitching tonight, Roy Halladay, Ubaldo Jimenez for the resurgent Rockies who've won 9 straight. Adam Wainwright's still in the middle of it. You know, Ray, it looks like we might have 3 or more 20-game winners in the National League this year.
It's been a while, hasn't it?
It has.
I keep saying this.
Lincecum, what did he win it with? 16 wins last year? The Cy Young?
I believe that's right.
Wow. That's a lot of. Roy Halladay has a lot of decisions. Well, so does Wainwright. Those guys pitch deep into ball games, and win or lose, they're like old-time pitchers that are often around in the 8th inning, even later. Strike 1 to Maben. 1 for 2 with a walk and a single. That's a beauty. So 2 finals in. Pittsburgh 3-1 at Cincinnati. Philadelphia 3-0 at New York. Arizona has 2 in the 3rd at Colorado. San Francisco 2 in the 1st at San Diego. Rockies the hottest team in baseball with 9 straight wins. 0-2 pitch. Hacked in the air out beyond shortstop. Desmond out. Bernardino Morgan in. Niger has the call. And the Marlins are done in the 7th. It's time to stretch. Today's game brought to you by the all-new 2011 Hyundai Sonata. Visit your Washington area Hyundai dealers today. On a Sunday afternoon, after 6.5, the Marlins lead the Nationals 6-5. And it's time for God Bless America.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join us as we honor our great country with a performance of God Bless America. Once again, Adalia Jimenez.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountain to the prairie, to the ocean, white with foam. God bless America, my home sweet home. God bless America, my home sweet home.
A lot of baseball left in this one. Kennedy, Zimmerman, and Dunn for the Nats. In the 7th, AFCEA.org is the association for IT pros. With our AFCEA sideline report, here's Debbie.
Well, we've got some minor league baseball playoff action to get you up to date on. The Potomac Nationals are advancing to the next round of the playoffs. They just defeated Frederick 3-1 in that best-of-5 series. Next up, they face the Winston-Salem, and then also Harrisburg lost. Their season is over as they lose in the Eastern League playoffs. And speaking of the minor leagues, you'll see a familiar face here at the ballpark. Trent Jewett, the Syracuse manager, now that the AAA season is over, joined the ball club. He's another set of eyes for Mike Rizzo and Jim Riggleman as they continue to evaluate during the month of September. Now, Trent is also a familiar face for the young rookies like Danny Espinoza and Joe Basenius, and a guy that can really calm the nerves and answer questions for some of the young guys, Bob.
A solid baseball man, been in the game for a long time. Syracuse manager getting a chance to come up to the big club for September. Here's Kennedy, 0 for 3, 2 grounders, around a fly ball. Well, it's always nice when you hear that your minor league ball clubs are fighting for championships. It's a good thing, a good mindset to have in the organization. Kennedy went swinging on a pitch way outside. That's as good as a bunt, but it's played tremendously by Ugla for the out. Only one chance to scoop it with his glove. And who does Dan Ugla think he is? Joe Morgan or Ryan Sandberg? The way he's playing second base today.
Well, he just plays hard right out of the chute day in and day out. And this is a spectacular play, and he's made a couple of them today. Has played flawlessly all year long in the series that we've played him. I used to think he was a liability defensively, and he certainly has improved, and that is a beautiful play as we look at Exmo just nipping him by a half a step. But watch how quickly he breaks. Full tilt, glove hand, the only chance you got. Get that ball there firmly. That play he made on Morgan, I have a start in my scorebook when Dunn was on third and Bernardino second and Morris had walked. Morgan cut a P out there to him, one hop on his knee. The ball came up on him and he makes a tremendous play and threw Morgan out by a step and a half. That's actually the play of the game in my mind.
That's excellent. Zimmerman coming up, swinging a good bat. So that's crucial for the Marlins to keep Kennedy off base. Ryan 2 for 3 today. And in the series, Zimmerman is 5 for 10. 1 RBI. All of his hits have been singles. And as Ray mentioned earlier, no extra base hits today. Morse had a double Friday night. Michael had another one yesterday. Ramos had a double. But the Nats are not really driving the ball at all right now other than singles. Kind of an odd offensive stretch in the ballpark they know so well. They don't win today, it's a 1-5 homestand. And Zimmerman's gone on a high fastball.
Nats miss opportunities today. Adam Dunn, ground ball right up the middle, and if it doesn't hit the mound, I don't know that it's not going to go for a base hit. And then the aforementioned Morgan rocket, and this ball was played. He made 4 hard steps to his left on a ball that was bolted out there, making a play, getting to Speedy Morgan with the bases loaded. That puts the club ahead 2 runs if he doesn't make that play, but he did.
Marlins on a pitching change, a double switch coming, and the Nats still trail 6-5. Washington Ford dealers. Your local Ford dealer invites you to experience Ford like never before. Ford, drive one. And it's not too late in the afternoon for some hot wings to fuel the rest of your Sunday. Nationals will be flying to Atlanta tonight to take on the Braves for 3. Scott Cousins on the double switch will bat 9th and play center field. The new pitcher, the Marlins' only lefty of their 10 relievers, Will Omen. Over from Baltimore, in a deal that sent right-handed pitcher Rick Vandenhert to the Orioles. Only Randy Choate in the American League had made more appearances than Omen coming in, 52 to 51. There's Sean Burnett. And this figures to be 1, maybe 2 batters for Omen. If he gets done here, he might stay in and take on Bernardina in the 8th. Adam today, 2 walks around a 5-3 double play ball. It's about time for the big man to pop one. Adam Dunn's last home run a week ago at Pittsburgh.
Yeah, the only reason for the double switch would be if their manager had that in mind, Bob.
Adam Dunn went opposite field in the 4th inning last Sunday at PNC Park for his 350th home run. That's when the Nats put that game away with a 5-run 4th. They pretty much pitched around Adam today. He has 69 walks on the year. That puts him back into the top 10 in the National League.
Good swing of that ball. That, I think, is a little slider. 84. A lot of foul balls off of the barrel with that bat. He's had that one a while.
And a breaking ball popped out of play left side.
Breaking ball in a good spot. Working its way hard away from Adam. Good piece of little hitting there as he gets just enough of that ball to get to another pitch. Battling. Adam battling. This will be the 9th pitch of the at-bat. Hang one.
Adam gets under it. Who wants it? Ugla will call everybody off. He says, this is my part of the field, even though you're over here on the shift. On to the 8th inning. It stays 6-5 Florida. Everybody having a good time on a beautiful day at the ballpark, a long day. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Washington Nationals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Washington Nationals. Rivera, Cousins, Bonifacio for the Marlins, top 8. And Peralta drops in a breaking ball. He's retired. 5 of the 6 Florida batters he's faced. 4 fly balls, a strikeout. Two and 1 to Mike Rivera, 0 for 3 today. But a play he made on a bunt by Nyjer Morgan back in the 4th inning might have been a game changer. He pounced on a bunt and kept Nyjer from getting safely to first base. Bases would have been loaded with nobody out. He'll hit one off the end of the bat to left. Bernardino circles and goes to the line and runs it down. That ball has any hang time at all. The 3 guys out there for the Nats right now will grab it. Bernardino, Morgan, Harris. And Peralta has now pitched 2 complete innings. And Jim Riggleman will take him out. He will walk 1, strike out 1, and get the Nationals 6 outs. Sean Burnett's been ready. Scott Cousins and Bonifacio now, the next 2 hitters. Reflecting pool at the Lincoln Memorial. Beautiful Sunday in our nation's capital. Johnny Holiday told me he's exhausted after watching the Terrapins score all those points yesterday. But he's here. Offense does come alive for the Nats today. 5 runs, 8 hits, and 4 2/3 against Chris Volstad. Action from the clubhouse reaction. Jim Riggleman live. It's all coming your way on Verizon Fios. Nats Extra with Johnny and Phil after today's game. Sean Burnett against Scott Cousins.
And anybody that looks and sees Sean Burnett's record at 0-7 is going to automatically say, oh, he had a bad year, and this kid has done a wonderful job for this ball club. .261 earned run average, has been in 63 games, which leads our staff behind for left-handers. Tyler Clipper had 70.
And he's getting those left-handed numbers down a bit, Ray. 286, not great, but it's better than that 300 plus it was for a while.
Well, since the All-Star break, it's well below 250.
That ball won't hang up long enough for Niger to get it. It's just been a very odd season for Sean. Right-handers hitting 100 points lower than lefties.
Well, right-handers don't like the ball moving down and away from them. Left-handers like the ball moving down and into them. So, you know, that sinker and changeup of his are his best pitches. He does have a very good breaker ball, which should negate a lot of the left-handed hitters. But, you know, you're right, Bob. He did struggle early, but I feel comfortable against him out there against left-handers.
And Maury Wills, disguised as Emilio Bonifacio, gets another base hit.
These guys are playing like the 27 Yankees against this ball club. Every defensive play that they've had to make, they've made. Every pitcher has made a pitch when they've had to make a pitch, not just today, but throughout the whole seasonal series.
Well, they've only won 72 games this year, 12 of them against the Nats. It's unbelievable. I told you, I'm serious. I'm taking a couple days off next year, and I'm going to watch them play somebody else and see if they are the same people who show up to play these 18 games against the Nationals every year. It's crazy. Drew Storen. Logan Morrison, a left-hander, coming up. And Steve McCaddy curious as to why 2 consecutive hits so quickly have come against Sean Burnett. Peralta dominated the 7 men he faced. 1 walk, and it was obvious they were pitching around Mike Stanton. And Logan Morrison will be the hitter. He's 0 for 3 with a walk. Marlins, probably too early to say they're trying to put the game away with 2 on and a 1-run lead. But they're trying to take a commanding lead. And it's kind of interesting when some of their guys come into our booth complaining about their bullpen, which has shut down the Nats pretty much this year. One of their guys said to me before the game, well, we're going home to play the Phillies. We have no pitching to match up with them. Like, are you kidding me?
Well, if you take the 3 starters, Halladay and Hamels and Oswalt, not too many people are going to match up with them, but as we have seen all year long, this Marlins staff, they throw some very good arms at you, led by Josh Johnson. Anibal Sanchez has been outstanding. Sanabria has thrown great against us. Volstad, and then Ricky Nolasco has also been able to shut people down. Those are 5 solid starters. You look at our starting rotation, we have 1 guy that is over 125 innings. That's Livan Hernandez for our ball club.
Well, the Nationals, the bottom line is they're better against the Braves, the Mets, and the Phillies than they are against the Marlins. And it's like that every year. Although the Philadelphia series hasn't been very pleasant the last couple of years, but the Nationals certainly played the Braves and the Mets tougher than they've ever played Florida since 2007. It's very confusing as to why. That's a good hard-sinking fastball. Burnett gets the strikeout.
Now there's the strikeout.
We'll see if Riggleman leaves him in to face Hanley Ramirez. Hanley doesn't think so. He's not leaving the on-deck circle until right now.
Well, there's a strikeout on a pitch. It's a fastball that he runs inside on a guy that's very difficult to strike out.
Great tumbling action there.
And just threw the ball in the spot that Burnett is so efficient at throwing it to. The ball down and into left-handers, running hard away from right-handers. And as you mentioned, Bob, why not? As you always say, why not? This kid has hit everybody else, and yet against left-handers, right-handers on the course of the season, Burnett has been good all year long.
Fastball in there, evens the count, 1-1.
Burnett has not seen a lot of action against Florida this season, coming into this ball game 2 1/3 innings.
That's hard to believe in 16 previous games. 17 coming into today.
No, just 2 1/3 innings. .186 right-handers hitters. Right-handed batters hitting against Sean on the course of the season with just 1 home run.
See how the Marlins do against the rest of the division. Against Atlanta, they're 7-8. Against the Mets, they're 10-6. And against the Phillies, they're 5-10. So they've done quite well against the Nationals and the Mets.
Well, those guys that talked to you, they had the recollection of being 5-10 against the Phillies, so they just have not matched up well. It's all about matchups, Bob, and over a course of time, you know, you can find out that, you know, my guys don't match up well against yours. It's no different than NBA teams or, you know, the NFL teams. Some teams just dominate because they're either quicker, stronger, and match up well against other teams, and we just, obviously, for some reason, our hitters haven't swung the bats well against the Marlins. I know that.
Runners going on 3-2. And Hanley Ramirez bumps one off to the right side.
We had the big game down there where Danny gets his first base hit and then hits a home run. When we went to Pittsburgh, that everybody seemed to be swinging the bat, but that was really just one ball game.
Hanging breaking ball, and Hanley out ahead of it. Well, Jim Riggleman, every pitch into this game, 6-5, top of the 8th. Ball game is beyond the 3-hour mark with 6 minutes to spare. And Hanley Ramirez is gone. And he has not driven in a run in this series. He's not happy with Wally Bell. Roger Bernardino will lead off, having a good day. 2 hits, a steal, a run, and RBI. The pitcher spot, and then Morgan to follow. 8th inning. early baseball lives. There's the mom of a future professional ball player, I would think. We hope. Bottom of the 8th inning. And Jose Veras comes on. This guy can bring it. Veras, 39th appearance, 2.95 ERA, 42 strikeouts in 40 innings. The Nats will have Bernardina. Espinoza is in the on-deck circle to hit for the pitcher. And then Nigel Morgan. The Nats will load up on lefties here in the 8th. Down by a run. Sure feels like more than that. But the Nats need something to strike quickly here in the 8th inning. Bernardina bunting and couldn't keep it fair. Roger lifting his average back up over 260 today. 2 for 3, hitting 262, 43 RBIs.
Bob, you had made a point when they bring in Ullman to face Dunn. If Edwin Rodriguez would keep Ullman in there to face Bernardina. Now, he made the double switch, which brought Cousins into center field for Maben to hit in that spot. So it had to be more for a defensive replacement than for the pitcher to go more than, one hitter.
Bernardina will walk away after a curveball strikes him out looking. And Espinoza will hit for Burnett.
Well, he just drops down and throws the slider in that area that you're not going to do anything with it. Down, outside part of the plate, just catching the corner. The only chance is to flick at it and try to get a piece of it.
Danny Espinoza pinch hitting. This is his first pinch hitting appearance. He's 0 for his last 13. Did draw a walk in the 9th inning yesterday. First pitch. Ugla. 2 outs. Nigel Morgan will be up with 2 outs and the bases empty. Nats tickets 888-632-NATS. We have one more homestand remaining. The Houston Astros are in for 4 a week from Monday. Kind of odd to play a team from the Central so late, but somebody from the East does, because there are 5 teams in our division. The Braves for 3, the Phillies are 3. And we were not expecting, coming back from Pittsburgh in a 3-3 road trip, a 1-5 homestand. If the Nats don't turn it around today, that's what will happen. And now you look at the next couple of weeks with 60 wins. You're playing Atlanta and Philadelphia 12 times in the next 3 weeks. 3 with the Mets and 4 with Houston. Wins will be hard to come by. Russ Detweiler joining Drew Storn, who's been up for a while. Up and down, actually. Niger 1 for 2 with a sacrifice. I just can't figure out what the Florida guys are complaining about when it comes to this bullpen. Now, Leo Nunez has had a couple of late-inning meltdowns for them. He's no longer the closer. Clay Hensley, with 2 saves in this series, is the closer at this time. Rivera's coming right at you, 93. The fast gun here at the ballpark had him at 95. He throws a breaking ball, then Morgan pops into left for an easy out. Morrison there, the Nats are gone in the 8th. Well, the Marlins lead 6-5. It's been that way since the 5th inning. Has an RBI today, his 90th of the year. We were talking earlier today about second basemen who have the all-time home run marks, and we've amended the numbers to the home runs they've actually hit while playing second base. And adjust things a little bit, but Jeff Kent is the all-time leader. He's going to be an interesting Hall of Fame conversation guy. Not exactly the friendliest in the world when it came to teammates and media. But Jeff Kent put up some pretty impressive numbers, Ray, if you want to look upon him as a second baseman as compared to others who've played that position.
Well, I don't think there's any question, Bob. He has been the most offensive-minded second baseman, and his production shows that. Over 500 doubles, 1,200 plus RBIs, 1,000 runs plus scored. So I think he's actually he won't be a first ballot guy, but when you compare him to everybody else that's there, he's going to have to get in.
And oftentimes it depends on who else is eligible in that year when his first year rolls around, which will be soon. Ugla 0 for 4 today, 3 for 11 with 2 RBIs in the series.
And with Jeff Kent, he's the guy that protected Barry Bonds for 4 of Barry's best years.
Yeah. That was the best protection ever for 2 guys who weren't speaking to each other. I think they lockered about as far away from each other as they could get. That's a fastball up and in, 2-1. From Drew Storen. When's the last time Drew Storen had a save opportunity? Some of the Nats' wins recently have been of the lopsided variety. Drew Storen's last save was 4-2 over St. Louis right here 2 weeks ago today. I'm not sure he's had an opportunity since.
No, because you're right. Those 3 games in a row that we jumped on Pelfrey and Morton and Mahalam.
Yeah.
We were belting out 14 hits, scoring 9 runs. It was like 9-2 and 11-8-1, and so those ball games. Scored 13 against Pelfrey
and company. Yeah,
and company.
3-2. Slider over the reach of Adam Kennedy. He might be thinking 2 here. He is. Morgan's throw offline. Leadoff double, Dan Ugla. I like the way he's playing these days. You know, there have been times in his career when he struck out a lot. Didn't always play the greatest defense, but he's making more contact this year. Just as a comparison, Dan Ugla has nearly 40 strikeouts fewer than Adam Dunn, and he's still hitting for great power.
Yeah, he's become a team leader over there, too. Cody Ross, Ugla. And right at the beginning of his career, there was some negative talk about him in the clubhouse.
Yeah.
Because they thought he was too hard. But hey, you give me a guy that goes out there and plays every day and battles you as hard as he does, and you're going to end up winning a lot of ball games just from desire. I mean, he has tremendous desire.
And Chad Tracy goes up hacking. He's 1 for 4 today.
I know Mike Rizzo loves him.
They drafted him.
And,
you know, in the story I'd love to tell, out of the University of Memphis, Mike Rizzo signed Dan Ugla for $1,000.
That's amazing to me. But to be able to read a person, the way that they go about their business and the part of character, and those people that have those humongous hearts that just are not going to be denied. They're going to find a way to beat you, and they're not going to give up runs or produce outs by doing things that are not baseball wise, not smart.
And Ray, nothing wrong with playing with a chip on your shoulder as long as you channel it the right way, and he's been able to do that.
Well, you know, when the game comes a little hard for you, and it did for me, there's a lot of people that didn't like me, Bob, and you know, I thought that I was one of those hard-tailed guys, and it wasn't that. It just, gosh, I had to give everything that I had every day, and I was just one bad play from embarrassment because I didn't have great power. I didn't have great speed. I could catch it and throw it with anybody. It was a good hitter, but that developed over time. And, shoot, I was too scared. I mean, whatever the chip on my shoulder, it was just about, knowing that there's always somebody behind you that, they're riding up a little bigger, a little better prospect, a little more power. And, it's not you're playing scared. You're playing as hard as you can, but you know that your job is always on the line day in and day out.
Well, there's nothing wrong with a fear of failure that motivates you to be better. 1-2 to Tracy. And that's a slider that bores in and hits the left-hander.
Well, let's see. It's definitely a slider, and it's right at that kneecap. And, there's not anything you can do there because you're taught to keep that front side in. And the ball that's coming out away from you, you've already planted your weight on the inside of that left knee, and there's just no way to get out of there because you're so solidly set.
2 on, nobody out. And these guys go up hacking. 4th drive of the game is Mike Stanton's 2nd home run. This was a fastball from Jordan Zimmerman.
The big thing there was Pudge setting up way and down, and the ball got up and in. Jordan just missed his spot, but Stanton didn't miss his.
Nice breaking ball. And quickly 0-2. That ball hammered to center. Nyjer Morgan tracking it on the track. Just short of the wall. That'll move one runner ahead. And Mike Stanton swinging some kind of bat here today.
Well, he's just so strong, his bat speed. You can't combat that bat speed. You give him a chance to put the bat on the ball up, he's going to hit it a long way. That bat is flying through there so fast, the ball's going to carry off of it.
And right here at the top of the hour, the 5 o'clock hour here at Nationals Park. In a ball game going 3 hours and 24 minutes so far, Wes Helms will pinch hit for the Marlins here in the 9th. And that's the double switch they made, pitcher spot, back in the 7th.
Which in my mind was unnecessary, unless you're just doing it for defense, and I guess that's what he was doing. But Maben would be hitting now, and they could have used any hitter they wanted to plug in that 9-hole. They had Cousins double switch.
I think one of the things, Ray,
coming up in that spot.
Maybe he did it because he is so short on extra players. He's used 3 guys, and other than Brad Davis, the backup catcher, he's out of players.
Well, you don't have, but a double switch ends up using one more player than you have to because of the fact that you use a pinch hitter here. Mm-hmm. If you didn't double switch, you have Maben in the game. So then you can use Cousins to pinch hit, and then now you have Helms. Or Maben's in the game. He hits where Cousins hit, and then you can have a pinch hitter remaining.
Yeah, as far as I know, they consider Maben a pretty good center fielder.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Great speed, good arm.
But to double switch when you have your left-hander facing one guy, unless he just left him out there and made the double switch because he wanted to be able to get both left-handers hitters if he didn't get done. And then once he got done out, he wanted to give the bullpen the ball clean with nobody on base.
And that's what he did with Jose Veras in the 8th. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Wes Helms. And Drew close with a couple of those sliders. Ugla doubled. He's at third after the fly ball. Tracy hit by a pitch. Still only 1 out in the inning. You would call this guy a reliable veteran. He can play third, first, pinch hit. Good with runners on, as the numbers indicate. And Storm missing with a fastball, 3-2. Adam Dunn's going to continue to hold the runner at first. We'll see if they start Tracy. Helms a pretty good contact man.
I don't think they'll start him.
You are right. That's popped up on the infield. Actually beyond. Look out. And Morgan. Kennedy and Desmond almost collided with each other, crisscrossing in front of that ball. And Nigel Morgan, as he should have, did a good job of calling everybody off, taking charge, and then getting it home after the second out.
Bernardina all the way in from left field. 5 men around that ball. Just watch this, how everybody converges. And Bernardina gets right in here, right with them. And Niger calls the ball, gets them all to back off. Willie right there, perfect throw in. Great job, man.
Here's Mike Rivera, the catcher. 0 for 4. Rivera, 4th game of the year at the major league level, 0 for 10. Two and 0. Important game in the West today. The Giants have built a 3-0 lead in the third at San Diego. Padres won last night, lead by 1 game. Buster Posey hit his 13th homer in that game. Another great rookie who came up into the season. 3-0.
Buster Posey from Leesburg, Georgia, just 8 miles up the road from my hometown, Bob.
Well, we were so impressed with him when the Nats played the Giants. Just missed him when we were on the West Coast earlier, but we saw plenty of him in this ballpark.
Well, I was always considered the best player to come out of that area, but not anymore. Not by a long shot.
4-pitch walk, bases loaded. And that'll bring up Scott Cousins. Steve McCaddy a visit to the mound for the Braves. Derek Lowe tomorrow night. And the Nats, by the way, have beaten him this year. And he's only 6-7 career against Washington. Against Yuneski Maya, who will make his second big league start. And Joe Bucenius threw the ball well in his Nats debut this weekend. That's a high in the zone strike to the outfielder, Scott Cousins. Singled up the middle first time out. Marlins with 2 outs here in the ninth, trying to put the game out of reach. The Nats, by the way, have Rodriguez, Harris, and Desmond due up bottom 9. Popped up left side. No chance for Ryan to get over there. Leading off the inning, Dan Uggla doubled. Chad Tracy hit by a pitch. He's at second. On a fly ball by Stan, Uggla moved to third. Helms flied out. Mike Rivera walked. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Marlins have already stranded 9 runners today. Swing and a miss on a tailing fastball. The long inning for Storen. Here comes Rodriguez, and then Willie Harris, and then Ian Desmond. The Nats down 1.
score. The Nationals trailing it by 1, 6-5. Johnny Holiday along with Phil Wood. Nats Extra Post game will be along at the game's conclusion. Boy, Phil, the Nationals bullpen again today. Last 5 innings scoreless against these Florida Marlins.
The bullpen's done a terrific job, Johnny, but I've been watching this game a long time. I have never before seen a caught stealing 2 unassisted in my life. You may never see one again. Remarkable.
And we will talk about that and a lot more when we come back and have Nats Extra Post game. And the Nationals see if they can come up with something here in the bottom of the ninth to send it to extra. Or better yet, let's win this baby. Let's send it back upstairs to Bob Carpenter and the second best player ever to come out of Albany, Georgia, the Silver Fox, Raymond Knight.
You are so right, my Johnny. Yes, sir.
Well, and the catcher that pulled off that unassisted caught stealing is the leadoff man here in the bottom of the ninth inning. Pudge Rodriguez. And the Nats are going to try to not turn Clay Hensley into Trevor Hoffman in 1 weekend time. He has already saved both games of this series. Did not have a major league save until he saved it on Friday night. Let's see who he faced yesterday. Oh, it was at the top of the order yesterday. He walked Espinosa, popped up Desmond, Zimmerman single, struck out Dunn, grounded out Bernardina. And he's been unhittable lately. In his 1-2-3 ninth inning, Friday night, he grounded out Pudge to short, Niger Morgan to first, and Adam Kennedy to second. So he's been keeping the ball down, getting ground balls, and here we go, bottom 9.
He has a curveball, Bobby, that he can throw anytime. Just 88, 89 on his fastball, but he spots it extremely well. Was a starter for the Padres, and I liked him when he was starting. He had 4 pitches in, basically relying on his fastball, curveball.
2-0. All those years as a setup man for Trevor Hoffman. Spent all of 09 in the minor leagues. Originally drafted by the Giants. Willie Harris is second in this inning, and then Desmond. Took a little bit off and missed up and in. Pudge hits it hard and foul. And the count's full to the leadoff man, bottom of the ninth. He's gone. Rodriguez taking strike 3.
Well, there's a lot of guys hanging around up there, and you're going to see it right here. That's a strike. It's kind of funny how when one guy starts questioning calls, everybody starts questioning calls. He got that one right.
Certainly wasn't high.
No, he's been about 50-50 today on the calls that he's rung people up on, but you just know that he's one of those umpires that's going to ring you up. And anything close with 2 strikes, and it's tough, 3-2. You know, it's tough. But if it's close, you've got to foul it off. Now, you know, I'm not disparaging anything that the hitters are doing. It's just the fact that, you know, this late in the game, you should know everything there is to know about this umpire, and he'll ring you up. That's what I know. You know, you noticed it earlier. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a strike.
As Diaz says, that's a swing on Harris. Still instead of 2-0, it's 1-1.
Well, you look at the front of the plate here, you'll see that's a couple of check swings that have been borderline for me in the last 2 days. Bernardina yesterday, and that one right there, probably the toughest call in the game.
Foul ball off to the right side. As Tracy is guarding the line over there.
Well, he's right on top of it, isn't he?
You have to hit it over his head to have it be fair and down the line. Well, the Nats, Ray mentioned it, 1 strikeout through 5 innings. 6 hitters have struck out since.
Yeah, nobody's been on base.
And the Nats haven't had a hit since Bernardina's RBI back in the 5th inning.
And I get what you're talking about. Everybody in here talking about how weak the bullpen is for the Marlins, and they just come in and latter part of every game seemingly that we've had against them, they've been very efficient shutting you down. Nats had 8 hits through the first 5 innings, 5 runs scored, and not a runner on base since.
2-2 to Willie. Desmond, 1 for 4 today, is next. 2 men would have to get on base for Mr. Clutch Zimmerman to bat in this inning. Willie hits it right to Ugla. The Nationals scored 4 innings in a row, 2nd through the 5th. Not a hit since. And it'll be up to Desmond in a 1-run game. Clay Hensley, who had not saved a game in his big league career, about to get his 3rd in 3 days. On that ground ball to Bonifacio, he makes short work of the Nats. Florida sweeps the series. The Nationals go 1-5 on this homestand and will go limping into Atlanta and Philadelphia. For Ray Knight and Debbie Taylor, Bob Carpenter, Marlins 6, Nats 5, and Washington loses 13 of 18 to Florida this year. Tune in Monday. Game 1 in Atlanta will start you at 6:30. This has been a presentation of Masson. Stay tuned now. Nats Extra coming up from the ballpark right now with Johnny and Phil.